Cannot hear you, Peter. Can you all hear Peter? Why can't I hear Peter? All right, good. At least it wasn't me. Welcome, everybody, to the pre-market show. We got Peter. There we go. Peter has fixed the microphone.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. We're still working out technical glitches here. I forgot. I'm Carlos, so I gotta enable all the Carlos stuff. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to day 2 of pandemonium over here at Bear Bull Traders, as Carlos is on vacation and we're figuring life out. But I do have the fundraiser there, so that's good. I think we're good to go. Good to go after a day that was pretty. I don't know, Mike, about you, but it was pretty blah yesterday on the markets.
Oh, yes, very blah. Very difficult to trade. You definitely needed to sit back, wait for your opportunity, and understand that the market wasn't going to move. It was a day for range traders, that is for sure.
It was, and that means that we really need to hopefully pick it up today. The big meeting happened yesterday with President Trump and, of course, a number of European leaders focused around Ukraine and President Zelensky. So hopefully we got that behind us from a market trading perspective, and we can focus in on some of the things that are happening. If we take a look out there, we've got only a couple of things on the gappers and, frankly, very limited earnings today. We'll talk about both of those as we get there. Why don't we start with the economic calendar? I know we had a couple of data points just come out, Mike. I'm not sure if you've got them, but maybe you can talk to me.
Yeah, so housing stats came in at 1.428 million. So it beat, and the building permits came in at 1.35 million. So both beat there, which is good. Housing sector doing well. And then not this afternoon, but 10 a.m. we got the Vice Chair Bowman that's going to be doing a TV interview. Everybody wants to know what the Fed's going to do in September. They think that there's going to be a rate cut, but we never know with the current Fed and how they want to react to world economic news that's out there.
Yeah, that's certainly true. I was just looking it up right here to see where we're at, and if I look right now, actually, it's not as polarized as it often is. Right now, the numbers look. Let's see if I can get this zoomed in here so you guys could take a look. Right now, the numbers are at about 83% of the analysts think that we are going to sit at. Here, I'm trying to get this on your screen in a way that you can see. That there's going to be a quarter point cut, and the balance think that the rates are going to remain unchanged. So it's been like 98%, right, in one direction. So I think there's a little more uncertainty. Jackson Hole may clarify, it may not. We'll find out later this week. But for the time being, all we can do is wait and see. All right, guys, let's get focused on. Go ahead, Mike.
The interesting thing is that the number, the rate cuts actually been decreasing over the past week. So it's kind of been shifting to more of a stable. Initially, there was a much higher percentage, like you talked about, in the 90s. It was anticipating a rate cut in September. So a little bit more uncertainty than the market's been planning for regarding.
There you go, and you're absolutely right. If I look at the data back on August the 12th, 93.9% thought there was going to be a quarter point rate cut. So that's gone down about 10% over the last week or so. So, all right. Well, let's take a look at what's happening on our economic calendar. And right now, oops, I got to hit the right button. There we go. Oh, my goodness, what have I done?
What did you do, Peter?
It's all right. I'm figuring it out. I got to put things in the right spot. All right, so on the gap up list, we'll start with a few things that we've got here and move from there. Starting with Intel. Intel surprising me at the top of the list. Normally not a good mover, and frankly, when I'm looking at stocks on the market or semiconductors, Intel is not one of the ones that I typically go to. So, Mike, what are we seeing on Intel this morning?
Uh, Again, it's the volatility, right? Intel actually had a $2 billion investment in SoftBank, and then President Trump came out supporting that deal, as well as the news that the U.S. government may take a stake in Intel. So there is some active work going on to try to shore up Intel's financials and try to help them in a sector that is booming right now. And for some reason, Intel just seems to keep going sideways. They just can't get out of their own way, it seems like.
I mean, they have had an increase, but you're right. If we look at the last couple of days, you can see how they've certainly been going sideways. And even this increase is relatively modest. I mean, we're talking $20 to $25, which is, look, I mean, that's 20%, but or 25% almost. But you know, it's not like well, let's overlay one of our good friends, Nvidia, right? Which is oh well, you know, maybe it's not a good analysis over the same period, but
AMD would be a good one.
Yeah, AMD. I mean, you go back just a little bit longer, they've certainly gone up a lot more over the time. Where, you know, AMD's gone from, you know, 140 to 180. So, you know, rather than a $5 increase, we got $40 to play with. So, in any event, yeah. Intel. I don't know, Mike, about you, but Intel is. It's not one of my favorites to trade. Maybe I should put it on the list. I figure today. In fact, I've got to clear the list here from yesterday, and maybe we'll put it on a list just to set some levels and see what it does.
I would just be, if you were going to trade this, and I have traded it in the past, just understand that you're probably going to take more share size than you typically do with your stocks, because it does not run very much. You're looking for a dollar move at the most, maybe two if you get lucky in the day. But yeah, you're going to be taking large share size because you have a small risk set on it, so you can do that. But just understand it's a little bit different trading than you may be used to.
That's a good point. I call it playing for pennies, and yeah, the move, you have to keep in mind the move is going to be much more modest, right? Whereas Nvidia, you know, you hope on a good move you can get a couple of bucks. At the very least, you're looking for 50 cents. Intel, you're probably looking for 20 cents, and an awesome move would be 80 cents
50.
to a buck. 50 cents. Yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at it, so I didn't want to understate it too much. But all right, so that's Intel. Going back to our list, second on our list is TGNA, so we can take a look at that and what's moving it this morning. It's got almost 5 million shares traded, and for a NYSE stock, this does trade on the New York Stock Exchange. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting, especially since I was looking at it. Nexstar Media Groups actually entered into a definite agreement to acquire it for $6.2 billion. The purchase price is going to be $22 per share. The board approved the buyout. So not your typical buyout chart that we see typically. So...
No, you're right. Normally it pops up and then just sits at a level. Here it looks like it popped up above that earlier and then had to drop down to a level below the purchase price. I wonder if that purchase is lower per share than they had anticipated.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So not something I'm going to be watching today for sure. It's just going to be,
Probably not making my list either. All right, let's look at the next on the list, which is XPEV. Boy, we haven't looked at these for a while. There was a whole bunch of these electric vehicle companies out of China that we used to watch. NIO, LI, XPEV are probably the top three. I assume that this is earnings because it hasn't been on our list in a while.
Yes, it is earnings, and they had exceptional sales growth. and beat earnings significantly and have expanded their margins. Unlike its competitor, so XPEV, if you've ever looked at their cars, look very oddly similar to Tesla's in a way.
Yeah.
Not sure why, right? But they increased their delivery growth
Well,
increased by 9.75% this time, up to 103,181 cars this quarter. And then their sales growth got up to 125%. So they're doing better. A lot of people buying cars over in China with XPEV. We'll see how it goes, but good earnings report out from them. So could be a good mover today.
well, we know that Chinese manufacturing has a long history of imitation, we'll call it. They are not afraid
Yeah.
of copyright infringements or lawsuits. I mean, there have been vehicles that have been produced that are like for piece were identical to Land Rovers and Porsches and Teslas. So, you know, they are not afraid to just absolutely copy. And that's just in vehicles. I mean, you can list any number of other manufactured products that they have absolutely copied, like to the nut and bolt. So,
have you ever seen an XPEV, Peter?
I have actually. I've seen a couple on the roads because they were fairly prominent in Sweden when I was there. So when I was in Stockholm with my son, and both XPEV and Neo, I saw them on the road. So
yeah, XPEV I saw down in the Dominican Republic when I went there with my wife this past year, and talking. They have lots of them over there. The problem everybody in the DR is saying is they can't get the replacement parts. So to fix the cars when they break, which is interesting. So something to keep in mind. I guess that's a good business model, right? Make a car, don't make replacement parts, so then you have to buy a new car.
You have to buy a new car. That's pretty extreme if you've just got a minor part that's busted. But yeah, I don't know. Feels like it would certainly dissuade me from buying a car if I couldn't find parts for it.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, look, our gappers list here they're both pretty light on the upside and downside. I got nothing else on the upside. I did have one that's in the title, I guess, for today, which was Home Depot, because Home Depot did have earnings today and this morning, in fact, and I'm surprised to see them gapping up.
Yeah, very, very slow growth. They missed on earnings per share, missed on revenue, not significantly, but they did miss. But I think what really was concerning, even though the stock is gapping up, is they said a lot of big projects are being put on hold due to the cost of materials as well as the interest rates. So I think people are kind of debating whether they need to improve on their home or even new home purchases. I mean, I know when I bought a couple new homes, right? We always do repairs afterwards, and Home Depot loves my checkbook. So it could be a sign that the housing market is not as robust as we think. With that, but yeah, it is gapping up. It could be because of those new numbers that came out with the building permits and the housing starts that might be helping it out as well.
Well, as you pointed out, the housing starts were actually up 200,000 compared to forecasts. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but.
So mixed, but very low volume. Only 181,000 shares kind of traded right now on it. So.
I sometimes Home Depot, now this is another one of these NYSE stocks, which means it doesn't trade a lot pre-market, and it might sort of pick up once the market opens. I'm going to set some levels on it. I'll put it on a secondary because I usually watch it. It more often than not does not give a trade opportunity, but you know, maybe we'll keep an eye on it, because I am surprised to see it gapping up. The news didn't seem all that positive. And hey, look, if they're sort of saying high interest rates amongst other things, you know what the White House is going to pick up? All they're going to hear is high interest rates. And once again, I expect to see some social media messages, probably from the President Trump account, about this to Powell. Probably.
Yeah, it's interesting because my wife, she has some realtor friends, both here in Kansas City. We stay in touch with a couple people, as well as in California, and all of them are saying like they need to see the interest rates go down for housing, because borrowers trying to get people approved, it's kind of on that threshold, right? Like we're on a tight rope with where the interest rates, and I got to give it to Jerome Powell. He's having to walk a tightrope that's probably about as thick as a piece of dental floss right now about whether what's the right decision versus the wrong decision, and the impact it can have on the economy.
And it's tough, right? Because these type of economic decisions, they don't really show the results until much later, right? Much later than politicians historically have ever wanted to sort of sit around, right? So usually, politicians are looking for things that, have impact immediately. And when you modify an interest rate, it takes a while for the ship to turn. So I get the difficulty. And, I don't know whether it's right or wrong, frankly. I'm not a macroeconomist, but you got to say, Powell and the group. Now, there was some dissension. If you remember the last time the interest rate came out, there were two, I think it was two specifically, of the Fed leaders that said they supported a cut, but they, were outvoted by the rest. So I think it's a very high chance that we're going to see a cut next time around, which is September, I think, September 17th or something. Yeah. So, but anyways, in the short term.
And those two that dissented, that was the first time since 1993 that two Fed chairs have dissented against the board, which makes it even more kind of,
at least publicly.
Yeah, at least publicly, right?
Right.
Publicly, like I want my name on the record.
Yeah,
that I wanted interest rates. So,
anyways, we'll see what happens. We are just observers. What we're looking for is what trading opportunity does it present. All right, let's look at the gap down list here. And on the gap down list, as you see, there's only 4 tickers on it, and they've been fairly consistent here this morning. I haven't seen them moving around a lot, so we're going to start at the top of the list here with Viking Therapeutics. It's been up and on this list many times. Looks like they're down today, and down by about 35%, with almost 10 million shares traded. So that's quite significant. What, as Carlos would say, who's getting fired?
Yeah, I have no idea. They had a positive result from their phase 2 oral dosing to their weight loss drug, and so the company is going down. I'm not sure why that is.
Whoa. All right.
Unless you can find something else that's out there on it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they got to spend a whole bunch of money now in phase 3.
Yeah, but that would have been part of the plan all along. What is you know what? I'm seeing here that apparently they've got an obesity drug that has seen a very, very high dropout rate. So so they're seeing that blah blah blah. Now, it had good results, like you say, right? Patients are losing up to 12.2% of body weight after 13 weeks, compared to only 1% with the placebo. But about 28% of the patients discontinued the treatment, which is about twice that for the placebo, which raised a lot of concerns. So I think that's what we've got. So the drug is performing well, but people are dropping out. And of course, they don't publish the reasons for the dropout, but the concern would be that it's causing other physical symptoms or problems that would cause people.
Side effects.
Side effects, yeah, exactly. Side effects may include hot dog fingers, or anyways, that's an old Saturday Night Live skit.
The 30-second list of side effects on any type of drug commercial that you receive in the U.S.
Total blindness, anal bleeding, hot dog fingers. Anyways, all right. I'm making those up. Those don't apply to this drug. Please don't sue me. Okay.
And
All
the
right.
picture on the commercials of a beautiful sunny day with people jumping for joy,
Yeah.
smiling with all these side effects going, like marketing 101 for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, all right. All right, let's move on to the next one, and it's BTAI, not the
Man.
BB, not Big Bear that we've been watching, but once again, this was on yesterday. It's back again. BioXcel Therapeutics gapping down about 10% this morning on a little under 1 million shares so far today.
Yeah.
What's
Let me see. Again, safety trial, acute treatment associated with bipolar and schizophrenia. So, locked in phase 3, looking at it because I didn't see this one earlier as I was going through. So, yeah, it's just another drug test result. Probably didn't come out the way that they wanted to.
Yeah, and if I look at the daily here, clearly, like it had gapped up yesterday, but sold off over the course of the day. It looks like we're just continuing that sell-off. Guys, keep in mind, this is a $5 stock, and while it's not quite a low float, I mean, well, it's got 13 million shares in the float, so you do need to treat it like a low float, absolutely. You know, it's $5, 13 million shares. It's absolutely going to trade that way. Yesterday, if I actually look at the trading over the course of the day, it wasn't that bad, right? It was fairly smooth. You can see here, but yeah, I'm not going to be spending any time watching this, to be honest.
Did Megan trade this? I don't know if Megan's in the room because I know she had this on her watch list yesterday, and
she says hell to the no. So
yeah, there we go. Hell no. Okay.
All right. Well, then that's all the authority we need.
We can on their watch list. I don't know who
we can move on.
Maybe I'm just losing my mind.
Yeah. She says hell no, then it's not happening. All right. Next, we got WULF and MTD, which are trading positions here on our list. But let's go to WULF. This is TeraWulf. This was on our list yesterday, and not a terrible trader. There was some interesting price action yesterday. It's looking fairly modest this morning, although there's almost 4 million shares traded. Are we just seeing a continuation move, or why is it here again, Mike?
Yeah, it's kind of a continuation move, but they also announced a 2-time upsize on their convertible note pricing. It was originally a 400 million offer, and now it's up to 850 million. So just some news, kind of not really backdoor, but just some of their financing options that they're looking at. So I figure they had a great day yesterday, so they figured they'd announce it today to drop the price back down. So,
okay, well, I mean, it looks like the volume is still
exciting.
It looks like the volume's still in it. It looks like it's still active. So, I don't know.
It's got 4 million shares.
Million? Billion? Are you talking about the float or the?
Oh, 4 million? No, volume. 4 million shares.
4 million. Oh, because it just happens to be 4 million traded so far. I see the float at 290 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, 4 million.
Yeah, 200 million.
Cap. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, guys, probably not making my list again. I don't like the way it moved yesterday, so I'm just going to avoid it again for today. The last one on the list here was this MTD, Medtronic. Again, another one that we've seen on and off the list over the last little while. A New York Stock Exchange traded stock. 1.1 million shares traded, down only 3%, so just made our list here. The pre-market price action, does not look that great. If I look at a 1-minute chart, you can see a bunch of minutes where essentially nothing happened. I'm not loving it. What say you, Mike?
It's not loving it, but it is on earnings actually. Okay. So it beat earnings both per share and revenue. It raised its guidance, but I think what is kind of impacting the stock is that it appointed 2 new independent directors to the board, as well as they're in talks with the Elliott Investment Management Group that they may be taking a stake in the company. So I don't think people are too excited about that.
Okay. All right. Well, what's wrong with these?
Clearly, they don't like independent board members.
Oh, okay. All right. Mike, anything else that's on your radar that we should be looking at? Because frankly, I mean, guys, as I said, not a lot on the list. We've already made it through the few that we had there. And I see XNet just dumped on the list. Let's take a quick peek at XNet.
XNet came up.
It's just made it to the bottom of, or popped onto the list there. Uh, yeah, don't like it. Only 400,000 shares. I think because it crossed the 2% gap, or maybe it's the volume. I'm not sure what happened, but it just popped onto my list. I don't like it. All right, so what do you like, Mike?
Don't like it. Really, I think I'm going to be just having Home Depot kind of on the ticker. And then again, I'm just going to be watching the Bag 7 stocks. I'm once again interested in NVIDIA. It's still trading kind of around in that range. So if we're going to be range bound, I'm going to trade the ranges, and Google as well at that 204 mark that's there. NVIDIA, the levels I'm looking for on NVIDIA is that 183 level for resistance. We talked about that yesterday pretty much all day during our trading aspect, and we're at 182. So what are we going to do? Are we going to go up? Are we going to go down? Who knows?
Yeah, I can't.
We'll see.
I think we were doing this pre-market as we were talking. We'd set these ranges we were talking about for the low range that we had to worry about, and then of course this high range. And it, based on yesterday, maybe I drew my box right too small. You could expand this box now to encompass yesterday's price action. You see that absolutely right. If it gets up into 183, you'd be at the top end of this range. And to breaking out, and this is the problem with drawing boxes that I find that, how big do you make them, right? What is this total range of price action? It depends on what you see and how you measure it. So here, let me make a bigger box and we'll go from there. Megan loves her boxes, and they're good because they help you understand, hey, it spent a lot of time here, so this is a significant area where there's a lot of price interest. Where it gets interesting for me is, of course, when it breaks through or out of any one of those boxes.
Yeah,
so
and that's really what I'm looking for, right? How does the price action and volume react at those levels? And for NVIDIA, I want to know how the price action and the volume reacts at 183 today. Does it break through, come back, find support, and continue up? I'll trade it long. Does it break through, the volume sucks, and it loses 183? Take it to the short side. But we got to wait until the price gets there before we can do anything about it.
A couple that I liked from yesterday, Tesla. Tesla actually, while it doesn't look like much on the chart, had a sort of a good move yesterday. If you look at the price action and what it did, it had these sort of big bouncy moves that were tradable. They weren't easy, but they certainly were tradable if you're interested in it. So I'll be keeping an eye on Tesla, as I usually do. And the other one that sort of surprised me was Microsoft. Microsoft actually had a fairly weak day yesterday. Very consistent sell-off over the course of the day, with just these pullbacks that might have given opportunity for entry if you were interested in it. So it might be worth watching that. It's not one of my favorite traders, to be honest, but I do usually watch it just in case it decides to pick it up.
One of the things I noticed on Microsoft for you too, Peter, if you remember back to your post earnings trading that you were doing after hours, we're back at where Microsoft gapped at earnings. So it's pretty much given everything back after its good earnings over the course of August. So interesting to see what it does here.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. As you can see, guys, that earnings, you can sort of see this clear gap where it actually gapped significantly and then sold off, and it hasn't ever sort of shown any strength really. Only 2 of the next 10 days were green, and they weren't that strong. So interesting position, for Microsoft. The last one that I was going to bring to everybody's attention was Apple. Apple had that big rise at the beginning of August, and it's since sort of come into this consolidation range. To me, it's now at the bottom end of that range, and while it's not a gap, I feel like, let's look at a 60-minute chart. you can sort of see here that it hasn't spent a lot of time in these areas down below. So I think if it does drop, there could be a lot of room for Apple to drop. I didn't understand the rise anyways. I know that they made some commitments for investment, right? There's that 100 to 600 billion dollar investment they've committed to within the U.S. At the pressure of the government. But I don't know. Not enough details for me to take it seriously, quite frankly. So I think that growth was overstated. But who am I to say? The price is always right. So, but we'll see what happens on Apple. All right. How about you guys, both YouTube and in the chat room? What are you guys looking at? What do you want to see us talk about next? Let us know if there's something that you want. I see Palo Alto Networks as being mentioned. Pan W.
Yes. So Pan W had earnings yesterday. I got some notes on them here. They beat earnings per share, they beat revenue per share, and the earnings call forecasting is saying that in FY 2026 that they're looking to surpass 10 billion in revenue. And this earnings call, they did 2.54 billion. So that's a significant increase if they are looking to beat that 10 billion mark. So
wow. Well, that does put them on track. Unlike our good friends at SMCI or SMCI Supermicro there, where he committed to 40 billion worth of revenue, and they're not even close. So
not even close.
No. They called that off significantly. All right, so Palo Alto Networks, maybe an earned raise. Not a lot of volume here. 650,000 shares so far this morning. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't look super awesome. I can't say that I've ever focused on this on my list. So, maybe, thanks for bringing it up. It looks like it might be a potential. We could probably set some levels on it since I don't have a lot on this list anyways. So let's get it in here and we can take a look at it if we have time later. All right, what else are you guys looking at? I see someone mentioned Open.
So
let me put Open in here. Opendoor Tech.
Check, yeah.
35. Wow, big volume this morning. 35 million shares traded on Open. I mean, it's up 9%, which is decent. If I look at the daily chart here for you guys, you can see that it's back up to the high end of this range that it spiked to back in July, so about a month ago. Geez, yeah, it actually looks pretty good here this morning. Wow, hard to borrow though. It's not shortable at this point in time. So if you're going to trade this, at least on my platform, and it depends which broker you have, right? Different platforms will have different availability of shorts, but I can tell you on Interactive Brokers right now, it's hard to borrow, which means there are no shares for short. So you can only trade to the long side. But yeah, with 35 million, it's in play.
So bring up SOFI. SOFI just released some blockchain to users worldwide. It is pushing up nicely right now, getting some shares that are in there.
Wow. Yeah, look at that.
So
we'll zoom in here. Last 5 minutes.
Good call out there on YouTube is where SOFI came from. Excellent call there. So at the top of the hour, SOFI said they're bringing blockchain to users worldwide, and they are just getting started. So kind of teasing. They see strong demand for it. So as you know, SOFI they're a technology company, kind of like Square and all that. Mm-hmm. So
interesting. Okay, yeah, guys, our list is growing here. So we're gonna see what we want to trade. And maybe I'm gonna move some stuff around here. So because some of these look pretty good. Yeah. Okay.
SOFI is near 52-week highs. And the weekly, I mean, it's approaching the highs from 2021 and 2020 on the weekly. Checking it out. So this could be an interesting one. I'm definitely gonna at least have it.
If we go back to, looks like they only IPO'd back in 2020 December. It looks like so. We're getting close to this is all-time high range. The all-time high, of course, was this time that it spiked here up to 28.26. Yeah, we'll have to see. I guess that would be quite a reach for today, but it's not inconceivable. We've certainly seen lesser stocks do more, haven't we? So thanks for
Yes, we
pointing this
have.
out. All right, guys, what else you got? PLTR, I see mentioned on YouTube. Thank you for that. And appreciate, by the way, if you guys give a thumbs up and a like, it helps with the growth of the channel. PLTR, yeah, PLTR has been, one that's, it's sort of been on the list. It hasn't been great over the last few days, but I love where it sits on the daily. Look at this. It's down at the bottom end of this gap range where it gapped, and it looked like it was just going to gap and go, and it did for 4 days, and then it started to reverse and come back down. And if it loses this area, yeah, we've got a good $10 open space here that it could drop into. So yeah, PLTR looks good on the daily. Now that being said, if you zoom in closer, it only looks acceptable on intraday. It's got about 1 million shares traded. That's, I would say, almost low for PLTR because it normally gets pretty good volume pre-market. But yeah, look, the daily does give me some thought that this might be a good trade opportunity today. So hey, look, from a day that started pretty slow, we're getting a bigger list here of things that we could potentially look at.
We're slowly growing the list. That's for sure.
We're building it up. All right. With that, guys, I think we do have a good list. Why don't we take a look at what's happening in the community? And as always, we have lots of stuff going on in the bearable trading community. And let me just bring this in here so you can take a look. Go into our website. If you take a look at our webinars, we can see what's happening here on a Tuesday. Mike, tell us all about it.
Tuesday. Today. Oh, Thor,
are we Tuesday?
Yes, we are. I am. So if any of you that are with us, right, Thor presents monthly with us, and he always does it the second week of the month. And so when Peter, you pulled it up there and I'm looking at Thor, I'm like, we're in the third week. Why is Thor there? What did I do? How did I screw this thing up? But if you recall, Thor had some last week. Carlos did the presentation on the VWAP band. So this week we have Thor today talking about reading the order book to identify the market intent of supply and demand. So that's using that order book on the level 2 as well as Bookmap, or soon to be on Trading Terminal Atlas, where you can see the depth of the market and find trading opportunities. Next week, we will have Brian, who's going to be talking about the Rising Devil strategy. And if you like watching Peter and Carlos trade on YouTube, that's Peter's go-to strategy for the open in the first couple minutes of the market. Today at 11 a.m. as well, Phil will be in our webinar room for our elite members talking about the small account options trade book. So if you like to trade options, you have a small account, that's the place to go. And then following that, we have Brendan for all of our new users in the onboarding room, not the webinar room, but the onboarding room. Brendan is there to answer your Dash Trader Pro questions, right? So whether you're a new member, whether you are somebody that's just getting started with DAS, or you're somebody that's been using DAS for 5 years, Brendan can help you. Because trust me, I learn something new about DAS probably every week. And Peter, I think you can attest to that too. So if you ever have questions, that's the place to go. He is our resident expert with DAS. And then I think we're going to some other cool slide show somewhere. And we have our summer sale, 50% off. Our elite annual gives you full year access to the community, to trading psychologists, to our webinars that are weekly, to all the daily sessions going there. But most importantly, to be a part of the community in the chat room to get your questions answered and to share your successes and your down points and realize, most importantly, that you're not alone in this, that all of us have gone through it. Ooh. And then there's Peak Capital Trading Bootcamp, which is going to start September 2nd. This is for traders who want to take their trading to the next level. I don't care where you're at. If you're a new trader, awesome. You can come work with me in the bootcamp prep meetings that we do, and I can get you from there to a nice solid trading plan to start day one of bootcamp. And then when you start bootcamp, we take you from where you're at. We teach you how to be analytical in your trading, meaning here's your plan. How do you stick to it? How do you collect data? How do you analyze? And how do you interpret that to determine, does your strategy work for you? Or do you suck at your strategy? And you should probably pick a different one, because I would love to trade a 1 minute ORB and make a crap ton of money like Andrew does in the first 5 minutes of the market. But I suck at it. And I have tried it and I have lost money, and I know for a fact that I will not be able to do that. So I've stopped trying, which in turn has told me, you know what? Who cares? I can watch Andrew do it now, not get the FOMO, not worry about it, because I know that I suck at it and will not make money. So that is what bootcamp's designed to do: take you to the next level and show you how to be successful as a trader. And we do live trading. We got Thor Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays. Peter, myself, John, Carlos, Megan, Eamon, Lenny, we're all in there, and you get to see us trade in a much different way than you see on YouTube or in the chat room, because we are doing it in a learning environment, walking you through our setups.
Well, I can only laugh at that, Mike, because I resemble that remark. It's as much as I would love to trade like Andrew as well, I have also tried and failed. And, you know, that's part of trading, right? You got to learn how your brain is wired, what you can see and what you can't, and what you're good at and what you're not. And that's a big part of the success over the long term, is helping to figure that out. And that's what we focus on a lot in boot camp, is just giving you the tools so that you can figure that out. Because that's a long journey. For me, it took years. Years, right? Yep. Like, as much as I thought, a couple months I'll get this. I'm a smart person. No, it took me a lot longer than I anticipated. So yeah, we don't sugarcoat it. It takes the time that it takes. All right, let's set some levels, guys, and get ready. We're gonna go through the stuff that's on the list here, set some levels for you so that we can get ready for this trading day. I'm going to use primarily the 60 and daily charts, of which I'm going to find levels that we want to talk about. NVIDIA is an easy one because we talked about this yesterday. I've already got my levels boxed out, right, where I know there's ranges, and if it trades in that range, I'm going to be looking for it to hit the extreme of where I've set my boxes, which, like Mike said, a little over 183.20. If it breaks through that, then we might have a run to the top side, or I'll be looking for weakness and I can short it back into the box. If it gets below the bottom of this box, which I've got set at just below, at 181.90, just below 192, then I'm going to be looking for a short side break. Right now we're sitting within it pre-market, so we'll see what happens. And then on the downside, we can see how many times it's got support at this lower level. So right below 180, I would expect to see support. So now I understand, from my point of view, where, if it does move, where it's likely to move from and to. So that's what I'll be looking for on NVIDIA. Tesla, I look at it a little differently. I'm looking for levels that have support or resistance. I haven't boxed this one out because I found that it hasn't stayed as long in these ranges. You can see on the top side, I already have a level set here at 345.14. That's a place to watch for me. To the downside, well, I've got the highs and lows of the previous 2 days that I get off the daily chart. Looking at the 60-minute chart, I can see this low of 2 days ago. Definitely, look at that. Look at how many times it's hit that, because it hit that back on the 8th. So that's definitely an area I'm going to watch, which means I'm going to just put another level here, so that I can keep an eye on that. If it does hit there 327.30-ish, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. Other than that, not a lot to talk about. I already have a level set at 332.11 because I see that it hit this sort of a couple of times, didn't quite make it there on the 12th, hit it and it provided resistance back in the 8th, so I'm going to watch that area as well. That's what I've got for Tesla. Now, Intel, as I said, not one that I want to trade a lot of, but I can't deny that it's in play today. I think we've already set an interesting topside range here, the high of the pre-market at 25.32. So I'll keep an eye on that. To the downside, well, definitely the low of 2 days ago here at 24.07, 24.10. It looks like. Sorry, I'll be keeping an eye on. So that's already marked. Lower than that, well, the yesterday's close is always as Jared likes to call it, the king of all levels. So I'll definitely be watching that. In fact, I'm going to put a level just below that at 23.50 so that I can keep an eye if and when it gets there, so that I've got some alert. HD, Home Depot, we mentioned again, unlikely to trade it, but I want to be ready should it come into play. Not seeing a lot of levels that I love on this. Highs and lows of the previous 2 days are there. We've got this high that it hit back just a few days ago. Let me set a level up here, roughly 107.87. What was the actual high? Sorry, 407.87. It looks like it hit 408 exactly. So I'm going to use that 87 as a warning track. If it hits 408, the whole dollars, then I know that it's hit resistance previously on that. Right at the close, it looks like back on the 13th, so last Wednesday. So I'll keep an eye on that. Let's flip to a daily chart, see if it gives me any more insight here. Not really seeing a lot of levels on Home Depot, so we'll have to see. Certainly, like I mentioned, the highs and lows of the previous 2 days are bracketing. It looks on the daily, you can sort of see that it's only been in this area for a couple of days here. So if we break out to the top side, 408, like we already talked about, or the downside, 395, then it's going to get more interesting to me. What was next on our gappers list? Pan W that you guys mentioned. Let's see. Here it's in a gapped range. In fact, it's gapped in this range a couple of times. So I'm going to set a level right here so I know where that top of the gap is when we might fill it at 193.36. Again, don't know if we're going to get there. That's a good $5 above the current price. To the low side, well, I want to know where that low is, and I can see that the low of pre-market actually coincides with roughly where I'd put that gap. So I'm going to put one a little bit below it, basically 184. In fact, let me make sure that that level is exactly at 184, because I'm going to put a 184.05 so I get a little bit of a warning on that. So there you go. Set that level. By the way, guys, I'm using a click and point with some hotkeys to set these levels. You notice that sometimes it's hard to get the exact spot you want in them. I'm using the DAS platform here, and if you want to then move your level, all I have to do is right-click on it, hit config, and you notice I can manually change that and put that level at the exact price I'm looking for, which is what I did for this last one. All right, Open, interesting one here with tons of volume, 38 million shares traded. A little hard to set levels in this just because it is so erratic and it's such a low price. When you get a low price stock, the whole dollar numbers are always significant. So we're sitting just above 4, so obviously the $4 level is going to be important. I see this spike candle that happened back here on the 21st. It hit a high, not surprisingly, of $4.97, which means we got to be looking as it gets towards $5. It clearly was not able to get over $5 on that day, which means it's unlikely to get there today. So just because of that limited range, it makes Open a little less interesting for me. Let's look and see what it's done on a 60-minute chart. Well, we can see we've just been sort of hitting a high day after day here for the last little while. So yeah, not a lot to go on here. I mean, to the downside, I'd definitely be looking at this high of yesterday at 395. If we get breakthrough that, then I'd be looking for the high of 2 days ago at 350. So I know where I'm looking for top and bottom side on Open. All right, that puts me to SOFI, another one that you guys mentioned on YouTube, I think. And yeah, interesting move here, interesting news. They had it spike early. We can see that we set a high just below $25, so that whole dollar number at 25 is something I'll be watching. You notice that I automatically mark the high of pre-market. That will stay after the market opens, so I know that I've got that level. I don't have to do anything about it. Let's take a look at a daily chart, because Mike mentioned, as he had mentioned, if we go back here, we got to go all the way back to its beginning of trading. Let me look at a weekly. It might be a little bit easier. We can see that this is up in the range that it had traded as we got towards the all-time highs. I'm going to mark some of these levels here just so I know where they hit, because I want to keep an eye on those. So the open here was 25.85. I've got that one good. This one, the high was at 26.97, so that one's marked okay. And then the absolute all-time high is at 28.26. So I'm going to move my level to put it right at 28.26. Again, I don't really know whether we're going to get there or not today. I don't expect it, but I'm ready just in case we do. All right, and last but not least, guys, you mentioned PLTR. Let me find it and put it up here. PLTR. Been moving down, like I mentioned. I sort of like this downward move for a gap lower. You can see I've got some previous levels. It's interesting how when you do that, right? I obviously was looking at this chart earlier, and I set some levels here. And 161.07, which would be a good consolidation point, you can see at the low of the gap here, and right at the price point we're roughly at now at 171. This one looks like it's at 171.13, if I can read that, hidden underneath the price. So that would give me some warning if we gap into that area that I can take a look at. And you can see if I look at a daily chart, those levels a little more clearly. So yeah, it's very interesting to me. We'll see what happens if and when we get into that zone. I'd be looking for a PLTR short off the open, but because if it bounces, that'd be less interesting. And if I look at the short-term price action, it's definitely been leaning down into the open. So maybe a rising devil. That's my trade strategy, a name for it, where it might pop up. If it popped up and then showed some weakness, I could take it short. We'll see what happens. I'm liking PLTR for a limited open trade. Mike, maybe I can bring you back on here. You can let us know what our moderators are watching in the chat room. And I did it again today. I didn't think to set this up.
If you share my screen, Peter, I got it up on my screen. Ooh, look at that. I did it.
Let's see if I can share. I don't. Yeah, hold on here. Let me get your...
you should have my screen.
Yeah, I have to find it here. Let's just share it in totality. There you go. There's your screen.
All right. So he's got it in totality. So we got Jared's watching Home Depot, Intel, and AMD on a secondary list, BMNR and Open. He noted that the short inventory is gone, so it's likely to stall out there. And because we have John around here again, he's adding Tesla. And if you all know, John is a heavy Tesla investor and loves his Tesla. Thor is watching Amazon and PLTR. He's also looking at the micros on ES and NQ. He later posted, he posted somewhere in the chat. I saw he's watching the S4 level on the Qs and looking for a possible buy at the open on the micro NQ. Gary is watching the SPY, Tesla and PLTR, Megan, Tesla, Hood, WULF. I'm going to be watching SOFI, NVIDIA, and Google along with the scanners. Talked about the levels that I'm looking at for them. Brendan's watching AMD, PLTR, Tesla, SOFI. Brian is in with his list, watching NVIDIA, Tesla, VKTX, Rocket Lab, SPY, and the Qs. Phil is watching NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, and Hood. And Brendan's reminding us, and here is Andrew with his list, VKTX, PLTR, NVIDIA, AMD, and Hood. And Lenny must be moving or traveling because he's last in with his list today. AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, and SOFI.
There you go. Thanks, Mike. We got those covered, and hopefully I haven't screwed things up. I tried to add you in there onto your screen, so
we got it. Looks good.
It'll mess me up later. Don't worry. All right, guys. We're gonna for the chat room. We're going to move over to Brian and Andrew. Get them live in here. Gary, you want to know how to set that hotkey? I learned it from John actually. So maybe when John's live, he can share that. Or yeah, absolutely happy to let you know. It was just a hotkey script that allows you to put it in and code it to a key. So for me, I hit the delete key and off I go to set those levels. So in any event, all right, we can do that later in the chat room. Guys, thanks so much in the chat room for being with us. We're going to let you go with your live people. We'll be back. Don't forget, right in an hour, Andrew and Brian will join us here on YouTube. Meantime, Mike and I are going to be trading live, so those thumbs up and likes, by the way, help the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And let's see what this day brings. We got about 5 minutes 45 here before we before we hit the opening bell. So looking forward to. I'm looking forward today. I'm hoping that we get some good trading today. So let's see where we go. Brian, good morning to you, sir. I hope you're having a great day. And I don't hear Brian,
Yep,
but
I see Brian. Good
I see
morning,
him,
Brian.
but I don't hear him. Oh, he hasn't got on the microphone. His mouth is moving. There he is. Anderson. All right, I'll leave them to it. Guys, I'm going to cut out in the chat room later. And we're going to keep going. All right.
Yep. Hey, Peter, how you doing?
I'm still
Once
good.
Again,
Yeah.
Still doing well?
Still
I'm
doing
trying
well.
to figure
Okay.
out how I'm going to set this up. I can't figure it out.
I do like PLTR for my open trade. I don't know that, I'm not sure what it's going to bring, but I'm thinking of, like I mentioned a minute ago, my Rising Devil trade. If we get a pop up here, definitely would have to pop over 172. I don't like that the VWAP is so close to the price action right now. That's not as good for a short trade. PLTR also, it generally likes to pop at the open, not sell off. But who knows? You can't trade on generalities. That's a way to lose money. So.
Yeah, I don't know about today. I mean, yesterday I had Nvidia and Google that were around levels that I was looking at. So I think heavily today is going to be around scanners. See what populates, see if I can find anything. Because as I kind of scan my normal watch list, stocks are there, but they aren't really at any significant level. So let's see what the open brings.
Yeah, let me pop this out. I'm going to set up some charts here so that I can watch things and see what they're doing. I'm going to watch open at the open. And what else should I watch? You guys mentioned some interesting ones.
Yeah.
Maybe Pan W. I don't know. I haven't had good luck watching Pan W. It hasn't really given me any trade opportunities that have been been awesome, to be honest. But I don't want to poo-poo it too much. Setting up some charts here.
There we go. It's there.
What else we got? WULF, you guys mentioned? I don't know about WULF. It doesn't look that great.
Hood.
Viking Therapeutics.
People keep, what is Hood doing? See people on YouTube as well as in the chat room talking about Hood.
Yeah, Hood's one of those ones that people keep talking about, and frankly, I haven't spent a lot of time watching. So, what's it doing? It doesn't look bad pre-market. Only 800,000 shares, so it's not huge volume, but it's not horrible. Maybe I should keep an eye on XPEV today. It would be fun to trade XPEV again. We haven't traded any of these EV stocks out of China in quite a while, so that might be fun. Let me.
Very
what is the
interesting.
date today? It's 19th.
Hood's at an R4 level here on the daily.
Yeah.
It's at an R3. Hood could be a good one too. Thanks,
It does
Samuel.
look like it's poised to break out to the top side here on Hood, especially with the market action. So, yeah, maybe. I'm going to put this in place of WULF because I really don't like the way WULF looks. Okay, I've got my stuff ready to go, guys. We're going to see. I'm going to be primarily watching. I think I'm going to be watching PLTR. We'll see if we can get to that short trade I'm looking for. Again, pop up over 172, ideally. If I see then weakness, I would take it short. That's my trade setup, so you guys know what I'm looking for. Again, it may set up, it may not. We'll find out together here in about a minute. My alarm is about to go off.
Yeah.
There it is.
So
1 minute to show.
Pierre with NVIDIA, yeah, it kind of got a pop up and it's moving up there again, like we were talking about in the pre-market. Just be very cautious around the 183 level. Understand what the price action as well as volumes doing around that area, because it could be a breakout out of there, but it could be a rejection again, like yesterday. So,
yeah.
let's see.
All right.
Got
couple seconds
10
here.
seconds, few seconds. Yeah.
5 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Here we go. There's the opening bell. Let's see. Oh, what's happening? Whoa. So, got an immediate drop on PLTR. Didn't do the pullback. Well, now we're getting a pullback. Remember what I said. So, looking for my trade setup. We'll see. Now it's heading up here to 172. Now the problem is that it dropped first before it popped here, so that makes it a little uncertain as to what it's going to do, and whether this is really a good idea for a short, because it could just go strong on me. Yeah, I don't love
this
it quite
was
as much
strong out of the open, as well as Hood and Intel.
Sitting
pretty strong
with some strength. Okay, I am going to try a short. I'm going to put a fairly generous stop on this, see if we can get a good move down, and I'd like to get a move down to 171.40 would be good for a partial. I'm going to take an early partial here. Oh, look at that. I got an excellent fill on that partial. So I am short, like I told you guys. Stop now has been moved to break even since I took a partial. I'm sitting in a good position on this trade because I'm well up above VWAP. Stuck to my rules, stuck to my strategy. See, if I get stopped out, so be it. Move my stop a few cents below my entry, actually, now, just because it's moving pretty fast here. And it's a little bouncier than I'd want, right? Obviously, I want a big sell-off. So, here we go. 171. I'm going to take a partial here again. You can see...
it's right at the pre-market low.
Yeah. I'm sharing with you guys. You can see my stop here. 171.93 is my entry price. If it comes back to that, I'll just let it stop me out. I always like to move my stop often as I start a couple of cents below the entry, especially when it's moving pretty heavy at the open. So, Peter Aziz, Sam. Well, look, I'll take that as a compliment. But seriously, like I stuck to my rules. Oh, look at this. Now we're getting. Oh, look at the. Oh my God! Look at partial.
Yeah.
Oh baby. Oh man. That is awesome. Look at that move. I just got $1.50 on that. Oh, geez. Taking another partial. Oh, are we in the right spot?
To start
Guys, look at this. I am on fire. Look at that. On fire here. Beautiful. I love it. So, that was awesome.
The SPY and the Qs both selling off heavily right now. So
this is just a
look at that.
This happens to be a fantastic example of what you can do when you just stick to your rules, right? Like I knew what I was looking for. I described it to you guys before the open, right? Like the markets hadn't even opened, and I told you exactly what I was looking for on that trade, and I just executed once I saw the opportunity. So this is such a great move. I'm gonna take a little bit more off here, just because I need to lock in those profits, because we're likely to bounce from here. So let me show you a 1-minute chart, by the way. I realize I have a 5-minute chart there. So there you go. That's what my trade looks like.
Go.
Oh my God. Look at this.
You got orders down at 167. It just cleared through that 168 easily on Bookmap, Peter. Right.
Good. Well, like we mentioned, look, the big move of the day. I mean, I could potentially hold this all day because, like I said, this we're in the gap now, right? So 161 is sort of the next area where I'd set a level pre-market. I mean, and just look at this thing go, right? Like it's, oh my God, this thing is
Yeah,
just going crazy.
161. It's just clearing orders like
Yeah,
crazy.
I gotta take
Huge
another
selling
partial down
volume.
here. Oh, look at this.
Big red bubbles.
I am rocking PLTR here. I got to show off to Andrew here. Let me try and post my trade in the chat room.
Excellent trade, Peter. Very interesting. Because I watch scanners every day. There is nothing on my high day scanner right now. Nothing. Zero. Which is very, very strange after 5 minutes of the market time. This could be a very boring day for me.
Yeah, I see Andrew is trading Intel, so he decided to try and jump into Intel. It's not quite doing what he wanted. He tried to go long on it. It's sitting, well, just below his break even right now, so that's not exactly delivering what he wants. Oh, you know what? I should put PLTR in one of these charts, so I'm actually always watching it. There we go. I got to keep an eye on my trade. But I am so good in. I mean, I'm $5 into this right now, so I got lots of time if it pulls back on me before I have to worry about it. But let's see if Andrew can get that move on Intel. He just added into his trade. He's a beast, man. When he decides he's doing something, he's not afraid.
Yep.
That's amazing. So he might get this break of high. He's already got an order set at 25.50. Oh, he just got taken on that partial. So there you go. Wow, look at that. He's getting the move.
Good selling off.
Yeah.
Microsoft sold off. I mean, everything sold off. These are not the days for the high day trader. These are the days where you just enjoy your coffee and sit back and wait for the market to come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just thank Brian for the Rising Devil trade because he's the one that sort of coined that and built the strategy. I just stole it from him because it resonated with me. So.
Yeah, I mean, right now you're in the middle of that gap on PLTR, so
yeah, I'm hoping
probably a little bit of consolidation, but it could definitely go down to that 161 level.
And I'm hoping that VWAP now provides some resistance. If we go back up and test VWAP, I could add into this trade, and I've got a good room hopefully to hold, so that we can get a bigger move a little bit later. So this is a great trade for me. So now, of course, you know, I'm wishing that I hadn't partialed quite so much, but you know that's what always happens when you have a good trade, right? You wish you'd held more for longer. But,
yep.
Hey, I'm just happy with everything going on and trying to run the morning show with Carlos. I'm just happy I actually traded because yesterday I barely took any trades and to get this one in.
See, you're getting used to it. We'll get you in there.
Getting more comfortable, yeah.
Yeah.
So
SPY back, nice call, Nav. SPY back above VWAP.
Yeah.
Qs are testing VWAP right now.
Yeah, let's see.
NVIDIA kind of pushing back up off this 181 level.
By the way, guys, don't forget that we do have, I'll mention it again later when we get our friends in the chat room back on, but we do have this, our charity still going. We're raising money for kids to fight cancer. And, you know, all donations, 100% of anything you donate goes directly to the charity. We're just doing it to try and give back to the communities in which we operate. And it's always a good thing to do. I'm a big advocate of not-for-profit organizations and supporting them. As you might know, I volunteer a lot, so in different organizations. So usually mental health related, but certainly support the fight against cancer. So if you can donate, anything helps. It doesn't have to be big. We greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go back to what Andrew's watching. Intel here. Intel still,
Yeah,
he got the
Intel.
pop. He's happy. He was really not happy a few minutes ago, but he got the pop he's looking for. Well, he wanted it to go a little further. What's interesting is that it did go up and through. Remember we talked about levels. We talked about that needing to get through sort of this type of range, and it looks like
Why
it's having a little bit of struggle
why do
here.
you
So we'll
have
see.
the weird chart on Intel? Oh, okay. Well, now it's fixed.
I don't know, what were you seeing? Oh,
Super weird
I
on
don't know.
Zoom.
I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna show you, Peter. I'm gonna send this to you via Telegram so you can see.
Let's see what I was showing. I don't know what I was showing.
No, on the actual broadcast it's good, but like on Zoom it's weird.
Okay.
Wherever you are, there you are.
All right, guys, I am still sitting in this trade on PLTR. I have not added to it yet, perhaps unfortunately. Let's see where we're at. So we're heading back down towards the lows. This is still looking great to me, so I'm just going to hold in here. Oh, yeah. Weird. I think, Mike, when it displays it to you, it gives it in low res to save on bandwidth. But that's what I'm assuming anyway. It's because, yeah, you're right. It does look better on the stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have what I did is I put the low res in our Zoom thing over that so it doesn't look like I'm delayed by 20 seconds.
So
And
cool.
so when I look at your screen,
Yeah, cool, Deep. Good question here on YouTube. I see you're asking what was my thought process. So I want to be clear, though. I did not go short pre-market. I just defined my trade strategy pre-market, right? I sort of defined what I was looking for, which was it was looking weak at the open. I wanted to pop up. It had to pop over 172 before I took it short. And then I needed to see weakness in the price action. And that's exactly what happened. Now, it actually pushed down first, right? So if we go back, keep in mind, right, this looks like a great move now, but if I just zoom in on the chart at this point when this pushed down, this is a pretty big move down in that opening minute, right? So this is what it looked like pre-market, and then we had the opening 1 minute, and in the opening 1 minute it pushed down. I just waited, and it pulled all the way back up here through 172, and I said I want to get short if I see it start to lose that 172 level. Once it did, I went short. You can see my entry was 171.93. I put my stop just above this candle up here, right? So above the high that it had set. And I said, well, let's see what we get. And then you can see I took my partials at what I thought were reasonable levels. I took it at the open price. I took another partial when it got to the level I'd set pre-market at 171.13, and then kept partialing on the way down. So really what I did is I sort of defined what I was looking for. And this is one of the things that we teach in Bearable Traders as well as in the boot camp. I call it my smart trading system, but really what I mean is I want to minimize the number of decisions I have to make when the pressure's on. Pre-market there was no pressure, but that's where I defined all my rules. All I had to do was execute, and I knew what I was looking for. Price above 172. Once I see weakness, enter. That's it. Right? That's all I had to do. But there was a lot of decisions I'd made in advance of that to be able to get into the trade. And it doesn't always work. This just happens to be a great example of one that works. But when I see what I'm looking for, I don't have to think about it, right? I see what I'm looking for, take the trade. And this is important for me because, guys, if you know me, I mean, I've shared this to you many times in the past, right? I've got this sign. This is a hard acrylic sign that I keep here on my desk saying, take the damn trade. Because I can analyze myself to death, right, and not take a good trade. So this is why I needed to develop an approach that allowed me to reduce the amount of decision points when the pressure was on, because otherwise I will go into analysis paralysis and never trade like I'm supposed to. So hopefully that helps you understand what I was looking for and how I got into and managed this trade.
So the
move it lower
SPY is flirting with green right now. It did go green and it's back down red right now.
Yeah. The
So,
black dotted line, by the way, my charts is the previous day close, so that's always the green-red line. And as Mike points out, it spiked green briefly, and and then went red. Andrew's still milking his Intel trade. It's going higher here, so Intel's moving higher. Mike, have you taken any trades yet?
No, I haven't taken any trades.
Okay.
Not really seeing anything that's setting up for what I'm looking for either. So NVIDIA sold off, didn't go up to that 183 level. Maybe NVIDIA, if it comes back down to kind of that lower range, which it's about ready to, right around 180, I might start looking to see what NVIDIA is doing. Google, I'm watching right now at the 201. It's kind of at its low of the range. It's found a lot of buying support right here. So interesting to see if it can hold 201. And other than that, I'm just waiting for the scanners to go off. Like I said,
Okay.
very strange day that 15 minutes into the market, I have nothing on the high a day, tons on the low a day scanner, but nothing on the high a day. I'm
watching PLTR here. I'm going to take a partial if it goes over 165. If it goes below 164, then I'm going to use that as a new level and take a partial if it pops back over here. So let's see what happens. I see a bunch of orders sitting at 164. I'm hoping we can just keep moving. We're right at that 164 now. This is great. I'm tempted to take this partial here anyways. Yeah, I think I will. Just take that. Might as well put some money in the bank.
I mean, Peter, it is just eating the orders at the dollar levels.
So
you can take a look at the book map I have up for you. I put PLTR up there for you.
Let's put this on the screen here. Yeah, there's the book map.
Yeah, it's just eating through those levels. I get a little bit of consolidation here because it ate through 165, but now that 165 order kind of came back. So
yeah, and I don't see anything. The next order is 162 on your book map, and that's not. There's not as much size sitting down there, so yeah, this could slow down here on its
right in here.
drop. In fact, we might get a pop. So, guys, this is the type of trade, of course, that you love to be in. That I'm very fortunate to be taking because I'm my entry is so far above VWAP. I could probably stick in this all day. The likelihood is I might be able to stay in this trade all day, but we'll see. And I actually don't even mind a pullback to VWAP because even at VWAP I'm still $4, $4.50 almost under my entry. So I've got very little to lose. And I can just wait. I don't have many shares left, so I'm almost hoping that it pulls back up so I can add into this trade, get myself a little more size, and then ride it back down here to the low. So we'll see what happens.
So Aurora Akito, you have a question about the simulator? Is something going off on it? I just pulled up the simulator and trying it out. Are you having any issues with it? Or if you do, there's a report a bug button down at the bottom right. If you click that and type in and screenshot and tell the team what's going on, they'll address it. We have somebody monitoring that consistently at the open. So
good question here about why 172 for my entry. Who asked that? Jace? Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. There was no magic at 172 other than I know that whole dollar numbers typically, carry a lot of weight, and they typically are ones that prices will sort of stop at. Really, I was looking pre-market, and I said, look, it came down here, and I wanted it over 172 because most of the pre-market action was above 172, and I noticed it is setting lower lows here. Notice that the high of the day here is really 172. What is the high of the day on PL? 172.30, which makes sense because this is the area consolidation it had around 8 o'clock, right before it had that big drop at 8:30. So that is a smart area that, frankly, if I was looking more deeply at it, I should have paid attention to. But I actually honestly did not notice that. I was just looking at the whole dollar to say if it got above the whole dollar and pushed higher, it's likely to continue higher. If it got to that whole dollar and then I saw weakness, I was willing to take it short anywhere around the 172 levels. So, in hindsight, I look back and say, well, look, it's obvious at 172.30 when it hit that and showed resistance. I might have been able to get myself a better entry if I was a little more aggressive, but I wasn't thinking that. So, and this is the stuff I've learned over time that you've got to be very honest with yourself, right? In hindsight, I can look back and say, oh yeah, 172.30, clear level. I went short below that. I didn't, right? In hindsight, that's what I should have been thinking, but that's not what I was thinking. And I've learned that if I document that, if I journal to say, those are the levels, I'm kidding myself as to how smart I actually was or how much insight I had into the market. But it can teach me next time I know what I should be looking for. So hopefully that helps with the thought process. Right? All right. Let's go back to looking at the live data. It did break here. I should have been a little more patient maybe on that partial, but at this point, it's all gravy for me. I am like my day is done. I mean,
Peter's day is done.
You got to keep in mind when I took this with I actually ended up getting about a 50-cent risk, which means I was looking for at the top about a $2 move, right? So 4 times that. I'm what am I good to this? $8 in. So like. I am sitting much better than I'd anticipated on the move, and really, it's an easy day for me. I can pretty much watch if I want to take another trade. If I see a beautiful setup, I won't hesitate. But right now, yeah, the day's looking pretty rosy for me.
NVIDIA is down at that lower end of the box that we talked about as well, Peter. So just kind of seeing
over to NVIDIA. Yeah, okay.
Seeing what we're doing in that lower end box.
Yeah, it did spike down right to the top of it, didn't it? I can see the spike on
so now it's kind of what are we going to be doing from here?
Yeah. Okay.
So right around there, right around where we're at right now is where there was a big buyer before. So
yeah.
Question is that buyer still there or not?
Yeah. And Mike's right. Like there's actually another box to be drawn here because there's been a lot of shares that have traded into this range here, right around this 179.50 to 180.50 price area. So we'll see what happens. So it's not a trade setup for me, but it's good to understand where it sits.
Now it's about determining whether you have a setup for it. So
yeah. What did we get over here? Going through the stuff that was on our gappers list. I'm glad I didn't pay a lot of attention to XPEV. Didn't really do much. Look at this, pretty ugly price action, frankly. So not looking great on that. Home Depot made an interesting move higher. I do find Home Depot hard to trade. That the volume is very low. That's the thing I forgot actually in putting it on my list. How low that volume is. But but it did make an interesting move. Hood, you guys were watching, did make a move down after an initial pop there, so not an easy trade, I would argue, but there was a good move on that. SOFI was another one you guys were watching. Move down on SOFI after that move higher, right? This looked like a huge move pre-market. Remember that. We've lost twice that amount now as we've moved down lower. So yeah, never assume the direction a stock is going to go. Just because it was looking bullish pre-market, it looks like the big money came in and said, we don't like that price for today. At least for the moment. We're going to take it lower a little bit. And maybe they're taking it back into what they consider a value range so they can buy it up, right? And we're seeing some of this move now. We'll have to see. Again, not a trade setup for me. And of course, we've got Intel that we knew Andrew traded. He was sort of stuck in this early chop, but held through it and got a great move. So, good move. And remember what we'd said,
Yeah.
right? Like a good move on Intel is, 50 cents, and we did get a dollar move, but barely, right? Like 150, sorry, 25.20. I would argue up to 26.20 was the move here, and we did get a dollar on it, but that's probably the extent of how far it's going to go today. It's no PLTR. Tell them
NVIDIA is
I'm all happy now.
finding NVIDIA is finding a footing here. So
Guys, don't forget to hit the like
hard
button.
to trade that though.
If nothing else, like my trade.
Like Peter's trade, because that is a
Uh,
very nice trade.
Yeah, come on. We've trading live with you here. Again, helping you understand what we're doing and how we do it. And, my trading strategy doesn't mirror that of many others. Andrew and Brian in the chat room trade very differently. Mike here, has different setups that he trades. And frankly, that's a big part of what we do is in our community. It's not about, we're not going to tell you trade like me, because no two individuals trade alike, but we're going to hopefully teach you the basics and help share our experience about what has worked for us and what doesn't, and why we ended up doing what we're doing. So, hopefully this morning I described to you again the trade setup I was seeing, what I was looking for, and why I was looking for it. Was it a perfect trade? Absolutely not. We just went over how I might have been able to get even a better entry than I did, but obviously I'm happy with the outcome, but I'm going to continue to learn from it. And notice that, guys, if you've been watching for a while here, I get these maybe once or twice a week, right? I'm watching every day for them. I don't always get the trades. Usually something goes wrong. The setup doesn't fully set out. I miss the entry, right, and ruin the risk to reward equation. Whatever it may be, this just happens to be one of those days where it worked out really well. Kumar, go
Yeah.
Ottawa. There you go.
Go Ottawa. There you go.
Thanks, James. Yeah, it's been a good summer for trading. It really has.
Tesla is up near the high of day again. So
Oh wow, yeah, look at that move higher on Tesla here.
nice little push up. NVIDIA too has kind of found a foothold, but like Peter was talking about, I want to see NVIDIA come back down to this 180 level. I want to see it have support, and then maybe you can trade it.
I'd be worried that it didn't seem to, when it hit the low that it did hit so far today, it didn't do it with much volume, right? There was
Yeah.
a little bit of a volume spike, but not enough for me to be convinced that it's done down there. So,
Yeah.
just
And the
go ahead.
too much of a V for me, right? Like I don't like these V
Oh no.
reversals.
I love the V reversals if they've got huge volume right at the bottom of the V, right? Because
Yeah.
then you can trade them with confidence. I mean, this is a good example of one of the ones like it would have worked. In hindsight, you can look at it and say it would have worked. But I can promise you, if you'd taken that reversal candle down here, probably 8 times out of 10, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
Right? And the problem is you'll get fooled by the 2 times out of 10 it does work, and you're going to say, "Oh my God, this is a brilliant trade. I got to take it." Right? And you're going to wonder why the next 5, 6 times you try, it fails on you. It's because it's not a high probability trade. This just happens to be an example of where it works. Again, in, I would say, our opinion.
Yeah. So Tesla, if you're looking at Tesla, it had a big seller back on August 15th, right around 338.06. So the 338 level. This is the level that we just pushed through on some decent volume. So I want to see, this is one of my setups. I want to see if this pulls back off of 339, and what the volume looks like in this pullback. Do we have decreasing volume in the pullback, or is there some increasing volume, which would indicate that it's may not be a pullback. And then if we can get a nice run up into 339, I may look at taking this long. So we will see. And one of the things that I like to do is I always look for a high a day break. And then if I don't like how the break happened, then I'll look for a failed breakout.
So here's a high day break right now.
Yep.
Or well, not really. A breakout to a higher high, I should say. It's not really a high day break, is it?
Not my setup for that. So now, right, this is where, hey, good morning, Andrew. So this is where I then take a look and say, hey, could this possibly be an area for a failed breakout, right? We've made that higher high at 339.50. We're actually getting some volume in on this high. And now I want to see what is it going to do this candle. Are we able?
Oh. Hold on, Mike. I cut you off by accident. Here, I brought you back. Sorry.
Oh, brought me back.
I was getting ready for Andrew, and I forgot where I had put you.
Oh, are we already at that time?
Issues. No, you said hello to Andrew. I thought he was joining.
Oh.
So, but
no, he just posted in the chat on YouTube. So,
I see.
So I just said hi to him.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. So here's where the pullback comes. Let's see what volume does here, and now I'm gonna kind of look for Tesla and see what we do during this next couple minutes here.
Right.
Oh, was there news that came out at 10?
Did we have any economic news? I don't think so. Let's see. I think no, we got at 11:30. We got the Atlanta Fed, the GDP Now number, which is forecasting a 2.5% growth.
Oh, the vice chair was supposed to, or some Fed guy was starting to talk at 10.
What's her name? Bauman.
Yeah.
Bowman?
So.
Bauman? Sure. Anyways. Michelle Bowman? I'm not sure if it's a bow or a bow. Is she on a boat or is she shooting an arrow?
Yeah. So Peter, Mr. Solution has a question for you, and then I can probably
Solution. He should have an answer for me
on that. I know, right?
I hit my daily trading goal, but over-traded, losing half my profits due to greed and prior risk management. Oh, any tips to stop being greedy? That's a real hard one. Here's advice I gave to Thor a long time ago. I think what everybody should do when you're in that type of position is it's good to have targets. I don't have a lot of daily targets, but that's for different reasons. But if you do have a daily target and you hit it, you should immediately put maximums on what you're willing to risk of that available target. So, for example, if you say, if I hit my target, I'm willing to risk all the money that I am above my target plus one losing trade, whatever your risk is on that one losing trade. So for argument's sake, let's say you're risking $100 a trade and your target is $400 on the day, and you say, I just had a great trading morning and I'm at $600. That means you'd have $200 to risk plus the 100, right? That one risk, which means that at the worst case scenario, your 600 would go to half at the 300, but you're just cutting it off. I'm done. If you get to $420, right, and that's when you sort of take a look at a breather and say, well, I'm only at 420, which is my target, then you basically have your one trade, your $100 trade risk. And if that's a loser, done, you're out, right? That way you get to preserve your earnings, you get to practice maturity and discipline in your trading, but you give yourself an opportunity to add to your winnings. That is one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion. It's not easy to do. That sounds super simple, but just trying to implement that, trust me, it's going to be difficult and it's going to feel restrictive, right? You're going to hit these days where you get to $420, like I mentioned, and you take the one losing trade and you're like, oh, come on, I see another setup. I just want one more. But to hold yourself back is going to be really tough. right? Now, if you do win, that's great, right? Then you can add to the winning. Your 420 might go to 520 or 620 or whatever your number is. The same rules still apply, right? Now, you can add extra rules on there, right? Maybe if you get to the 600 we were talking about, maybe you say maximum then I'm willing to risk 2 losing trades. No matter what else happens, 2 losing trades, I'm out for the rest of the day. But now we're getting into more complexity in how you manage your rule set. But that's just one idea. There's innumerable ways of doing it, but try something like that. Bottom line, set a rule for yourself, right? Set a rule. And don't do it right now. Do it when you're not trading, out of the pressure cooker of the active markets. What is my rule for the day, right? You should know it in advance, understand it, and you're just managing to the rules that you've built for yourself.
And what I would caveat off that is having a plan is how you become disciplined in trading, especially because there's nobody there watching over you. Nobody is over your shoulder. You don't have a risk manager. You have nobody. So you get to dictate whatever you want to do. And whenever you're in the heat of the moment, you're going to make bad decisions. Always. That's just the way it is. We never make good decisions when we're in a pressure situation. What I would say is if you have a plan, you then have a way to measure whether you executed your plan properly or improperly. And then you can start to see the results of that plan. Does that plan produce you money, or does that plan lose you money? And the more that you see that your plan makes you money by sticking to those rules that Peter was talking about, the easier it becomes to follow them and not worry about the FOMO or the missing a trade or missing out on something, because you're like, this isn't within my plan. I'm good. I don't need to worry about this. So
we get a lot of traders that say, "Oh, but I'm a very intuitive trader, or I'm a free thinker, or whatever it may be." I will be very critical and say, if you have ever told yourself that, that's an excuse for a lack of discipline. You're just allowing yourself to be undisciplined. You're basically, if you don't set a rule, you can't break it, right? So you can't say, well, it wasn't a lack of discipline, or I wasn't undisciplined, because you had no rules against which to measure it. So as Mike says, there's no one out there, checking up on you. You have to do it for yourself. The way you do it for yourself is by setting the rules and then sticking to them. They may be the wrong rules. That's not the point. The point is you're trying to set a rule set and prove to yourself that you can hold to them. And then over time, that will yield you net better results. That we can commit to. That we can promise you 100%, right? By creating rules that you require yourself to hold to, that will make you a more disciplined and more effective and thus more profitable trader over time.
And in boot camp, we teach you how to evaluate
right. Walden
those
says,
rules.
Too much lecture. All right, sorry. Let's get back to the markets. Fair
Sorry,
enough.
Walton.
We were asked a question. We answered it with the passion that unfortunately we bring to this stuff, because we've done it, man. We've made the mistakes, right? For me to get to this point where I can sit in PLTR and talk to you about this and not even worry about it, I'm still in this trade, right? And I'm just letting it do its thing. If I get a pullback to the VWAP, I'm looking to add to it. If we just, you notice we're moving sideways, I got nothing to do. It's taken me a long time and a lot of that discipline we're talking about to do that. So anyways, I think I'm lecturing again. All right, let's go. Tesla, Mike, sort of did what you talked about, right? So we hit the high, pulled back. Looks like we're retesting now. So
yep. And I want to see kind of how this break goes. I don't notice how it's pulling back to the high, but the volume's decreasing. And it's just, this candle has a little bit more increased volume. So let's see what we get on this candle, as well as the volume associated with it. Are we going to look at getting increased volume? And one of the things people tend to have struggle with reading volume while it's happening. One of the things I like to do is at the 30-second mark, I like to take half that candle in the 1 minute and say, hey, have we met or exceeded half of the previous bar? Because then the probability, I can assess the probability that maybe the candle's going to be, or that volume bar is going to be higher or lower than the previous one. And as you're seeing here, it looks like we might get higher volume. but we're getting selling volume. And I don't like that for a high a day break. So now I'm going to start taking a look at, hey, is this a possible failed breakout?
Which I was going to say, pattern-wise, this looks a lot like my Mountain Pass. In fact,
Yep.
it looks exactly like it. What I don't like is we didn't hit enough volume on the initial high of day, right just before 10 o'clock. And like
Yeah.
Mike said, I don't mind the volume selling off because that shows weakness that we're unlikely to be able to push higher. But it's also early in the day. I normally don't like these till 10:30 because there could still be another move higher in the market. I mean, if I look at just flip over quickly to the Qs as well, I see the Q and the SPY especially. The markets are looking like they're sort of pushing higher here. We just got some volume on the
Yeah,
SPY.
the spy got above big time,
Yeah,
which
so we
it's in
might
the
have
green.
Tesla might get dragged higher just because the market's moving higher, right? And that stuff happens too. You got to keep that in mind. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Tesla, like Mike said, right? The volume is decreasing, and yet we're sort of leaking higher almost, right? And so there you go. We just set a new high of day.
Yeah.
So even
On
if I was
Tesla.
interested in a mountain pass on this, just broke my rules for 100% because we just set a new high.
And we're getting some increased volume on this break, but it broke already. So not necessarily a setup. This is
And
one of those that early on in your trading, I'd be like, hey, I'm missing out on this trade. Oh
a,
man, I need to jump in right now. I need to get in.
a good sign of that might be
After
Andrew. I can share. Let's see if I can share Andrew's
uh,
trade here. This is Andrew
after
trading.
years of trading, I don't mind not being in this trade right now. One thing to be of note, I calculated today's expected move on the SPY at 644.22. So we are approaching the higher end of the expected move. Does it mean that
Okay.
it's going to stop here? Does it mean it's going to reverse? Not necessarily, but it's a level to be aware of.
I'm sharing on the screen Andrew's trade. You can see that he got into Intel early. Like I mentioned, he was struggling here as it was, in chop, but then he stuck with it, got partials all the way up, just added, and then got another pop and got a great partial right at the top of this. So this is what Andrew's doing in the chat room. He's having some fun. He had his arms raised in victory earlier. We all know that. We all know Andrew. Whenever he's doing this, it's a good day.
Yeah.
So.
So
Great.
Tesla does have a lot of orders up at 340. It did get about 6 cents below that and then kind of came down and it's pushing back up there. So I'm just keeping an eye on it. We'll see what it wants to do. Nvidia.
What is Andrew talking about? I was not struggling. My fake news. I said the stock was struggling. Intel was struggling, not you. Oh well.
And
Anyway.
then but we got Nvidia that's at VWAP right now. But the 50 is coming down on it, kind of getting squeezed between some moving averages. So
Yeah, it's really looking like it's uncertain here. Its candles are getting smaller. I'm still sitting happy in PLTR. I notice it's leaking down a little bit, but not doing much of interest. It's actually below.
Here we go
the
again
point.
with Tesla made a new high, but on these high candles, we're getting a little volume, but very wicky whenever it makes a new high. Cleared that 340 though very easily. And basically right to R4 on Tesla right now.
CRWV. Let's take a look at some of the stuff you guys are talking about. CRWV. Yeah, I mean, it's short this morning. It's not particularly in play. I mean, it always gets decent volume. The volume looks like it's been moving off. If I look at it daily, look at how it sort of spiked a couple of days ago, last Friday, And then yesterday and now today,
Yeah.
it looks like the volume's starting to drop off on this. So I'd be careful on CRWV. Definitely had to move down so far this morning, but uh, I would I would guess that the move is largely over at this point. But I mean, I don't know. It could go a lot farther, but I'd be very hesitant about taking a short or a long on CRWV at this point. That's just me. I see you guys also talking about. Sorry, I have to clear my throat here in a minute. Pan W, see what it's doing. It definitely was moving sideways off the open. Got a little bit of a sell off. I just look at the volume. It looks like it's dead already, right? The volume
Yeah.
has really sort of dropped right off and not doing much. So
Apple's interesting. I don't know why I hadn't been seeing Apple here. It's up at the high of day as well now.
oh yeah, yeah. Apple looking surprisingly strong.
Yeah.
There are fans out there. Let's go back and see what Tesla's doing for you. It seems like it's struggling here at this
Yeah.
340 level. 340.30 is where I have R4, which interestingly is exactly the high of day. So that's maybe there's a short in it here, but it would be a weak setup.
Apple.
I'm not going to take it, but
I'd like to see Apple get up above 233. I got a heavy seller up here around 233.19, 233-ish. I mean, I'd be too late on Apple right
are you
now,
looking
though.
at that on the book map? Is that what you got going on here?
Yeah, book map, and
Just
then
put it on the screen.
let me pull up a 60-minute chart that I got going on as well. So you can see Bookmap's got some orders here, but you can see these sellers here on the 60, right? This 233, and you can see it kind of came here. Man, just late on the Apple. That might have been a nice short in that area. But not too bad. Still keep an eye over here on Tesla. Tesla's not quite where I want it to be yet for a short.
Gotta remember here.
The SPY is getting pretty weak though right now.
Well, see what happens. I like weak. It helps my trade.
Starting the last 15 minutes just been kind of coming off that high.
I want to say to everybody, by the way, in the chat, really appreciated your involvement and participation today. We love the questions, and I apologize. There has been so many. I think we've missed a lot of them. So if we have, I just want to apologize to you. It wasn't intentional. Feel free to type it in again. We'll do our best to get back to it. And I know some of you just want to talk stocks. Some of you want the preaching. we'll try and balance the two. But as you can tell, look, we get passionate here because we do this because we love to do it, right? And we're active traders, and we've been through this, and we're still going through it. It's never like you graduate and say, I'm now a professional trader. I never have to worry about these things again, right? I mean, I keep my take the damn trade sign because I got to remind myself of it every single day. That there's demons you have to keep fighting. For you, it may be over trading, or for you, it may be, going
could be under trading.
It could be under trading. That's my challenge. But whatever it is, right? We all have sort of our challenges. And, someone mentioned earlier in the comments to say, hey, like, I'm really struggling because I just don't know what to focus on. There's so much happening. And that's true, too. I call it, like chasing butterflies in the field. You try and chase too many butterflies, you're likely to catch none. Another analogy is, we've all been on a Netflix or something, and then have you ever spent like 2 hours just scrolling trying to find a movie to watch, and then you end up going to bed without watching anything? Because you're like, I don't know. You would
Yeah.
have been better off to spend the 2 hours just picking something and having watched it, even if it wasn't the ideal, the thing that you absolutely wanted to watch. You might have loved it. You never know. But I think we've all been there at a certain point. So you got to think about that in trading. If you had a strategy going into your Netflix watching, you might have been, hey, I'm looking for an action movie, and it's got to be within the last 5 years. Okay, narrow it down. It's this may sound crazy, but I actually developed I'll call it my Netflix strategy to watch movies, right? Because I've got Prime and Netflix and Disney, and when I see a video of something, I find out where, and it's, oh, that movie looks interesting. I look it up. I look at the review. Does it look interesting? And then I actually put it into my watch list. So I refuse to scroll in any one of the social media platforms. I literally put it in my watch list. So when I go into Netflix, I click on what's my watch list, and I'm like, I just pick one of those and I'm watching one. If I don't see anything I want, out. I go to the next one. Prime. If I don't see anything on watch list, I'm done for the day. I go read a book. So I mention this because when you're trading, you've got to have a strategy, right? I had my strategy this morning. I told you guys I was looking at PLTR, and that was it. And if PLTR didn't pan out, basically I was not trading anything for the open, and I was going to wait for my next setup. But I knew what I was looking for. I executed to it. And most days I sort of turn it off, right? I just don't trade. So think about that. How do you set up an approach so you know what you're looking for? And yes, that means you're going to miss things. It means there's lots of stuff I'm not watching, which may be fantastic on the Netflix analogy or in the markets. But that's the reality. You're never going to hit all the good trades. And there's
It,
always going to be stuff where you look at and go, "Oh my god, that was awesome. Why wasn't I watching it?" Because you weren't. Okay, so can you
because
learn
there's too
something?
much to watch.
Right.
That's
There's
the
always
problem.
too much every single day.
Too much to watch. And unless you're watching the stuff that meets the criteria, meets the stuff that you trade well, then there's no point in watching it. It's like watching that B-rated movie that's that once you start watching it, you're just like, oh, really? Why did I get in this? And then you're watching it, and it's similar to trading, right? That you're like, but I need to finish this. I know it sucks, and I shouldn't be doing this, and I'm wasting my time, but I'm already here, so I might as well stick to it, right? Same as trading. You get into the bad trade, and you just hold and hold and hold when the market's trying to tell you, hey, get out of this thing, get out of this thing, get out of this thing.
I'm getting a message from Carlos here. He's checking in and making sure
Ooh,
everything's going smooth. He's
yeah,
reminding me about the
everything going
giveaways, by the
smooth.
way. I haven't forgotten about those guys. I know that we have lots of like books to give away, different copies of our books out there. So, I was going to do that tomorrow. We'll see what Andrew joins, what he wants to do. I
Yeah.
do have the engine. We can still get those. What'll be happening is you're going to need to email Carlos with him being on vacation. It might take a couple of days for that for him to respond to, but he'll give you the codes and you can go download your free book. But we'll get into that when we get to the giveaway. So don't go crazy. Don't start putting in things. At this point, we're probably
No,
going to do these
please.
giveaways tomorrow. But if we do end up doing them today, don't worry. I'll give you plenty of notice. You'll have lots of time to put in your message so that you get included in the draw. Okay, so no panicking. It'll happen if and when it happens. So.
Stay, stay calm, stay smooth. Spot is, things are kind of calming down here. Sounded, yeah, Apple would have been a nice little reversal off that
Let's see.
R4.
Let's bring us back
That would
to
have been a
Apple
nice
here.
trade.
Yeah, they're
Nice,
just
nice trade.
yeah.
You could have got about a 20-cent stop entered right around 232.60-ish. I mean, you're down to 232, so that would have been a nice little.
Yeah. I will mention about the giveaways, by the way. If you've already won a book, you have to email Carlos. All right. So you have to email Carlos, and I'm going to type it in here Carlos at bearbulltraders.com. Only if you've won the book. He'll check it against the winner's list. And what happens is if your name comes up and you were a previous winner, you just send him an email. He'll then send you the code. Okay. So that's
Yep.
if you've won. So he does say he's got a couple of people that have not yet reached out to him. So we're ready to give those books away. But I've sent them away on vacation. So again, if you do end up winning this week or next, it may take a little bit of time until he gets back. But we'll make sure that you get that. Don't you worry. So we'll see what happens. I'm still sitting in my trade, by the way, guys. PLTR. Don't forget, I'm actively trading. And like I've said many a time, this is my best time of trading because it's very relaxed, isn't it? I'm not worried about anything. I'm just letting it run. This is the best position to be in, right? When you can I've got my stop in. I don't have to worry about getting stopped out. I'm just waiting to see what happens. We're most of the way to that target, by the way. If you remember, let's go back here into the 60-minute chart. Let's do a daily. Remember where I said 161, right? Was that marker that I was looking for. And in fact, 161.40 is probably the spot that I should keep an eye. Now, we're still $2 away from it, but we're only $2 away from it compared to my, being $8 away from my entry. So we'll see what happens if and when we get there. I may just take this whole trade off because that would have run the range and we're likely to bounce. And I don't have a lot of shares left. I'm really hoping for a pullback, to be honest, before we get there because I want to add into this. But this is not a good area to add into it at this point. So, I'd love a pullback up to the 165 area, 165.50, then a bunch of weakness, and let's push all the way down. But I got lots of time. That may, this whole thing may play out in the next 5 minutes. We go all the way back up and set a new high of day. What do I know? I have no idea. Or, I may be talking about this trade to the people in our chat room as I'm in there live at 3:59 today. So we'll see. $9. $9.
And look at that trade on Apple. Apple would have been a great short today.
Yeah. You mean from the high here?
Yeah, from the high.
Yeah, Apple's a tough one because it does do this a lot where it sort of goes to the high and then just sort of leaks back to the view app. But there's like no volume indication at all on it. That's where I find it tough because, well, it does this a lot, the other half of the time, the other lot, it'll just push higher. So, gotta risk. Take your chance. Tesla, still hanging out around 340 here, isn't it?
And it's just grinding. It's no real good signal for a long or a short. Just duh.
Yeah, Tesla? Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah, Tesla.
Much, it's Nvidia. Nvidia's at the low of day. That would have been another good sell-off from the view app, as we said. Tough to read at that point. We did talk about it, right, Mike? And we mentioned it, but it wasn't as easy to read as it looks. In hindsight, you're like, oh my God, all you had to do was short at view app and it would have been great. But it wasn't that obvious.
That would have been a tough one.
So.
Yeah, look at that. Ooh, the market is definitely selling here. Market SPY drop. Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody must be talking. Right, Peter? Somebody must be talking. Well, somebody must be saying things that are not liked right now. Coming up at the bottom of the hour too, 30 minutes in. Maybe they concluded their remarks with a mic drop moment about interest rates. The LTR is still going nicely for you. Alarm about that time.
Yep, 10:30. So this is when I, mark the markets for reversal times, and often we get reversals right around 10:30. So we'll see. We got a volume increase here on Nvidia. I see it bouncing.
Yeah, I see. There's a buyer down here too on the 15th. This is kind of where the
I am almost, guys. I'm almost $10 to the good here on PLTR. What a day!
man. You shouldn't be looking for many other trade opportunities, Peter.
Oh no, I'm not really. I mean, if like I'm sitting here anyways, if an excellent one presents itself, I'll take it. But
Jared just said final target is close to 160, is what he said on PLTR in the chat room.
I've got 161.40 as well, but we'll see. Jared's rarely wrong on these things. We're heading right towards my target now. I feel like I need to. I have so few shares left. If I take another partial, I'm gonna have to get all out. So what do I do? Good problem.
This is where you set the range order, where you're just like, this is where I think it's going, and you set the range order, and it's there not. And then you can always come back and be like, okay, I'll just get out. A lot of things selling off right now. So even the stuff that was strong, INTC, SOFI, even Tesla's doing a decent pullback now down to 338. Apple as well. Apple got down to VWAP and is finding a little bit of support. I went red again and then found VWAPs, now bouncing back up, making green. So anybody hearing anything on like Benzinga news or anything out there that maybe somebody's talking? Or
Andrew's sharing his P&L. He's up $56,000.
Nice.
Well, I can say that I'm not up that much, but
did he short PLTR as well?
No,
I see PLTR on his long Intel.
Yeah. So. Brian is busy quoting Monty Python in the chat room. He's talking about the Spanish Inquisition because somebody posted that. There's a great skit. If you don't know it. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Anyways,
Monty Python.
Very, very British humor, but some of it is quite
yes.
Nice. All right, yeah, Apple's bouncing here. What's Tesla doing? Tesla's pulled off that high. Oh.
Hello, Andrew.
Hold on on a sec. Let me bring Andrew in.
That was great trading day for us guys in the chat room. How was trading in YouTube?
Well, awesome for me.
Peter killed it.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't found any opportunities
Have you
yet.
seen this
So
trade? Look
I've
at
just
this
been
trade,
enjoying Peter's PLTR trade at the open.
I am
Traded like a
$10
boss.
to the good on PLTR. So I got in way up here, right at the high of the day, pretty much, and
Right.
still
Peter, you're
sitting
gonna
on
put it
some
in chat
shares.
room too. Wow,
Great.
amazing trade on PLTR. Amazing.
Yeah.
Why didn't you
amazing.
let
Yeah.
something for 161.40, which is the gap?
I have. I'm still in it.
Oh, you're still in it. That's my man. That's
Yeah,
my
I'm
man.
still in this trade. So PLTR is for you guys in the chat room or just joining. It was a Rising Devil trade, and as I was explaining to everyone on YouTube, I just followed the rules. I was looking for a push over 172. I got in short as soon as I saw weakness, and as you can see, I took a bunch of partials early at key levels. But yeah, I'm still sitting
Nice.
in a few shares. 161.40. This level I've got is what I'm looking for. If we get down below that, that's my final target. So if we get there, that would be more than a $10 move. So when I
Steve, you've
anyway, so
officially
I'm very happy.
converted to an open trader, Peter. What was that thing that I don't trade at the open, only close? Like, look at this. Look at this beauty.
See, you've taught me. It just took me like 8 years to figure it out. So I'm a slow learner.
Just change. Come, do things. Listen to me. I know a friend who knows a friend. What you need?
Yeah, you know people. I've been trying to listen to you. The problem is I've just not haven't been very good at it. So what can I
Good.
say?
Well, come to Thailand, by the way. Guys, we want to launch Thailand. And I want to extend the invitation to everybody December 1st to 6th. I know Eamon and his wife is coming. I know Paris is coming. And a couple of mods have been, confirmed. I know Peter and Mike are still thinking. John is still thinking about it. Megan said it's going to let us know by tomorrow. So I do hope that mods are coming. Gary, I haven't met you in person. I'd like to see Gary. So Thailand would be a good retreat. It would be what we're planning is more, meditation, mindfulness. There is one, energy coach that she's coming from San Diego. I've never done that. I like to try it. So
Do you have a screen to share, Andrew?
Wow,
I do
market's selling.
have something to share for you. Yes, I'm sorry. So
Koh
I had a
Samui.
good day. It's a really solid day on Intel. I had a very big position on Intel live in the chat room. I got to stop out now. So closed it at $56,000 profit. And now I'm actually looking to get a reversal on PLTR potentially. Let's see PLTR gets to the
The date is November 29th.
November 29th.
I believe.
Yeah, so November 29th to December 6th. So I know it's after Thanksgiving for Americans, and it's a little bit tricky for travel. I was debating to do the Thailand or not, because even our own team, they said, oh, it's short, long flights and Thanksgiving. And I said, you know what, it's okay. We can go, even if it's 10 people, we can go 10 people. I'd like to go to Thailand. And we found a very nice 5-star resort that has amazing. I think the price would be 3,000 for one person, 4,000 if you're bringing a spouse or partner together, because most of the cost is just the room. So it's going to be a private room for you, and again, we have organizing some really nice stuff over there. I personally, I'm not going to go drink there because I want that really connecting with my mind and body. But the resort obviously has some really good restaurants and bar and everything. But I personally want to go in a it's actually a retreat. So real.
Andrew, did you? And that should be a great event, guys. If you're considering it, how do they get more information? Do they just wait? Is it going to be released?
Yeah, we're gonna launch it officially next week, and or maybe by the end of this week. So we're gonna put the link on the website and some itinerary dates, so everybody sees and meets in Thailand, and then we take a small flight from Thailand to to Koh Samui. Koh Samui is the name of the island.
Koh
And
Samui. It's Koh
Koh
Samui.
Samui. Koh Samui, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Excellent.
yeah, the price would be $3,000, 1%, 4,000 for two. Because again, most of the cost is for the room. So Koh Samui.
Do you want to do a book giveaway today?
Yes, can you do that?
You
The
bet.
cost? Oh, perfect.
bet.
Yeah. So
Okay,
let's do a
so,
bunch of
guys,
this. I'm gonna do for the members of Lambo and Garbage Truck. I'm gonna do a free Thailand trip. So we'll do that when Carlos is back.
All right. So
So
here's what we're gonna do today, guys. I want you to put in hashtag book. We're gonna
Ooh,
change
I
it
like
up
that.
today. Hashtag book.
Hey,
All right.
cool.
So that's gonna get you into the draw. And just as a reminder, there is a multiplier if you're a member of the Lambos and Garbage Trucks. If you've subscribed, you get 4 times the entry. So you just have to put it in once. You'll get entered 4 times into the draw today. So hashtag book.
and you have to like the video
Not-
too, because people don't like the video.
Yeah.
If you don't like
Give
the
us a
video, you're
thumbs
not
up,
gonna
yeah.
be in the. No,
And-
not in the chat room. Not in the
Not
chat
in the chat
room,
room.
YouTube,
Yeah.
guys.
Just jump right in there. You can do it. There it is. I'll give you another couple minutes so everybody's getting themselves in there. I'll put this up so you can see. Comes everybody with their entries. Let me throw it on a screen so you can see what's happening. Here we go. Coming. How many do you want to draw today, Andrew?
5.
5. Okay, so you got 5 chances. Remember, if you're a member of Lambos and Garbage Trucks, you get 4 times your entries. So that automatically gets calculated here. I see. Make sure it's hashtag book. I saw one person just put in the word book. You got to put the hashtag, or it won't pick you up. So you got.
And make sure that like the video, guys.
And like the video. We appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Like the video. That makes sure
No,
that it
you
works.
have to like the video.
Oh, is that one of the conditions?
We appreciate
I-
that too. But you have to like the video as well.
Okay.
All right.
Still.
All right,
All
let's
right.
go for the first one.
Let's go for the first one. Here's our first winner. I'm going to choose a winner. Here we go. Ranjat
Palvi.
Palvi. There you go.
Nice.
So,
Congratulations.
there's our first winner. You guys are still getting some in there. Let me close this. We'll do another one. Second winner, Sarath Dulipala. So excellent. Congratulations. Welcome. All right, I'm going to close it so we give everybody a chance again. Here we go. Oh, Trade Canada. I like the name, Trade Canada. You're our third winner for today. And we'll get another one here. Sarifs. Oh, good. Sarifs have been around with us forever. So well-deserved, Sarif. You can get one of our books. And
Yeah, Sarif is a very active member in chat room too.
very active. We appreciate that. All right, here, guys. Last but not least, somebody just typed in cats. Okay. Anyways, all right. Last but not least for today, Jillian Florence. Jillian Florence, you also win a book. All right, so what you need to do to claim it, email Carlos at bearbulltraders.com. I put that in earlier. Carlos, C-A-R-L-O-S, Carlos at bearbulltraders.com to claim your book. He'll give you a code. You can go claim the digital ebook on Amazon. So email
It's an
if you're
audiobook,
one
yeah.
of the 5
It's an
winners.
audiobook, yeah.
Yeah, the audiobook, sorry. So if you're one of the winners, just email Carlos at bearbulltraders.com. He will hook you up. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for actively participating. We appreciate it here this morning. Andrew, I'll hand it back.
We do it every day. So we do it every day. 5 books every day. Tomorrow we're gonna do 1 year membership. Friday we're gonna do another membership plus 50% boot camp. And again, probably next month when Carlos is back, we're gonna do 1 free Thailand. You and your channel really important. It's only $4.99, and YouTube takes 30% of that. So yeah, that membership helps us to do better in YouTube, like maybe extending the hours and $19 to us. So you might as well do the Lambo and Garbage Truck. Plus, the YouTube is promoting channels that have a lot of community membership around it. That's why, like, Mr. Beast is growing so much is because he's really good with engaging with the members. So one way of
getting below the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart, which is sloping down, but it might actually be finding a bit of a bottom here. So the gap that we were referring to on PLTR was a daily gap. So there was a big gap up here on August the 5th, probably when they reported earnings. And quite often we look for stocks to retrace and fill that that gap that's been left. And that looks like what has happened.
Yeah, PLTR is now doing the big reversal from 160 133. Do you guys hear us in chat room? Yes, I think YouTube crashed.
Yeah,
Sorry, I said
PLTR is
something that.
now. Yeah, now it's making its way through the 9 EMA, so it's trying to break this downtrend finally. Nvidia is looking like it's trying to find a bottom here as well. The SPY, we're right back to low of day here, and now it's looking like it's trying to bounce again. Wow, Tesla's really had a big swing today. Swing high to swing low.
Wow, PLTR ripped. Look at that. That amazing gap. Look at that. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so just be aware that it's now at the 20 EMA. It should I'd be looking for a bit of a rejection here actually. A drop. There seem to be some algos that use the 9 and 20 EMA because the reaction is often quite glaring. It's quite obvious. So you can see here we're getting a rejection right at the 20 EMA on the 2-minute chart. So we're back at the 9 now. Let's see if we can bounce off. See if we start to bounce here. Wow, the Qs and the SPY just took another leg down.
Well, I'm very happy with my all-out position on PLTR. What a great day.
Got that. Let's see if that turns out to be a low of day.
It could go lower. We are in a gap here, but I mean, heck, $10 move. I'm not going to argue. I was expecting 2 at best. So
Nothing wrong with that.
nope.
For our members, I believe August 26th, I'll be doing a webinar in the members webinar room on trading rising devils. The LTR does look like it's going to try to break through the 20 now after that pullback.
All right, so PLTR did an amazing bounce, like perfect. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly what we were hoping. 161.33. Like it's just can't be better than this. Like more classic.
LTR is looking like it's trying to get through that 20 EMA, but there's some sellers here, so we'll see what can happen. It's breaking through there now. Trying to take a bit of a long 162.90. Let's see if we can get up to the VWAP's a long ways away, but maybe 163.75-ish area might be opportunity. I've got an order at 163.50. There we go. Let's get still some sellers there for sure. Yeah, we're gonna move through 163. We'll take some off. Hopefully we'll get to 163.50 here. Yeah, this is an area where we found prior support, so it's gonna probably struggle here. We are getting a bit of a bounce on the Qs and the SPY. Nvidia's back up.
All right, so what are we having here in life? PLTR is a really amazing classic bounce, very classic bounce.
Yeah, we're getting a nice bounce here. Here we go. Come on. Give me a few more cents here.
Hmm.
SPY is going through the 9 EMA, or Qs are going through the 9 EMA. Now, So we're breaking that downtrend as well. Right now, I'll stop out of this trade if it gets back to my break even because I don't want to end up with losing trade. And it'll also be an indication that maybe we're not finished. The selling's not finished. Nvidia back at it's coming back up, and it's going to be at the 20 EMA here in a few minute or so if it gets there. Okay, I'm out of this trade. Didn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, Qs and the SPY rejected at the 9 EMA, so we're still in a downtrend on these indexes. And there was a big rejection on Tesla at the 9 EMA 2-minute chart. Q's back at low of day. SPY heading there. Yeah, this is a tough day for the bulls. A lot of red on the screen. The Dow's up.
Spies, guys of spies money. The bonds are up. TLT is going up. That's good because I have some.
Yeah, the
Okay,
bonds and
I
yields are
know
down.
Thor is here. Sorry, Brian.
All right.
I need to slowly wrap it up. I just wanted to thank everybody in the
Yep.
chat room for trading. It was really nice. It was a great trading day for me. Thanks for everybody on YouTube who's actually supporting our channel by commenting, by liking, by subscribing, by becoming a member of Lambo and Garbage Truck. Again, that helps the channel grow because YouTube promotes, the grew channels that have community based. I just want to mention that my book is for free, guys. The link is putting it here. Again, I'm putting my link here one more time. The new book. Really looking forward to read your reviews. I personally read them all. Before in the past, there was an option that you can actually respond to the comments, but Amazon reviewed that, so removed that that option. So yeah, I love that, and looking forward to that. I know Thor is here. You're gonna be in good hands, and all the best from my side, guys.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Have a good rest of the day and check out Andrew's book. And welcome, Thor, if you're in the room.
He is.
Yeah,
Hello,
I'm here,
Thor.
man. Thanks. Oh, and I'm mirrored.
There he is.
Fun.
He's large and in charge. Look at that full screen Thor.
He is large. I like
big
that.
me.
He's large and in charge.
Big Thor.
There he is.
Right? No?
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
So, I'm having
someday I want to
finally the Bears are here, Brian. We've done it. I've been waiting for so long. We've been waiting for the bear to come in, and today is my day. So I shorted NQ full size, 2 full size contracts, and caught a pretty good move on this drop here. So I'm definitely definitely got things going in good order here today. So
Nice. Someday I want to come to your place and sit in one of those big black chairs, and you can sit in the other one, and we can have
let's do it.
we can do a little fireside. We can do a little fireside chat there.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, a little fireside chat with Brian. That sounds amazing. The bulls always come back.
Right.
The bulls always come back, but today is the bear's day. So,
Bear day.
but so for anyone, you can
All
see
right,
my
buddy.
account now. So you can see we're selling like crazy. And hey, good one, brother. Thank you for chatting, man.
All
Good
right.
day today.
Cheers.
So check it out. So I started off, Chad, actually kind of thinking we might be along today. So in the pre-market, I went ahead and got a little long, and then I went ahead and actually took a stop to start. And then I got long here and decided to cut this one for just a very small profit. So then we lost S4 and came back to reoffer S4 from the underneath at the monthly R3. I got short and used a stop above the open price, and but I ran a little wider above S4 actually, and just missed my target, which for this one was a $3,000 target. Right, so it came back here, and I ended up taking a small profit on that. Still netted about $500 or about $400 on that one, and then I re-shorted off of VWAP again using the open price, and this time hit my full target. So, and that was a little over $3,000 because I got some positive slippage on that one. So these are two full size contracts. So it's you know, we're making money on this one. So boom. Good day. So anyway, that's my day today. So I will start looking at other stuff for everybody else or anything y'all want to talk about. How can we predict today? So Sumathi, my recommendation is don't. You never can predict the day. Anyone who tries and tells you that they can predict the day, I think is probably being slightly disingenuous. I mean, I'm sure they probably feel that way. I just don't think they're right. Price is your leader, right? Your system and your strategy is your leader, right? Today was a narrow, lower range. So if you're in a lower, narrow range, the play is a trending breakdown if you utilize my trading system, which is a complete day trading system, right? So if you know my trading system, you would then know that the play today is a lower range, trending, narrow ranged breakdown to the downside. We also had a bearish order book on NQ. Now, let's also take this another level. Let's go to Qs here, actually, and let me show you on Qs. Now, let's let the price action lead us. If you look in the Bear Bull Traders chat room, if you were a member of the chat room where I was trading this morning, you will notice that right at minute 2, I said incredibly weak open on the Qs today. Watch for a trending breakdown. I literally called out the whole day right in the Bear Bull Traders chat room. One of the reasons to be in there, right, is everyone, you know, all the mods are active in the mornings, right? So our initial reaction to the open was an incredibly weak candle, which was responded to by an incredibly strong sell, right? So this right now is narrow range, and we're selling to the downside into a weak book, right? This thing's a breakdown. There's all there is to it, right? How to predict range? You're going to love this, all right? We use ATR, right? Average true range. If you want to use it, I have it. It's called really key levels, or sorry, where is it at? Adaptive ATR limits. They're by Bruz X, right? So if you go under indicators if you have it in TV, you can look for adaptive ATR limits by Bruz X. Okay, if you can't find them, go to my IG. Most of my indicators are linked there. Right, so if you look at QQQ, our ATR low calculates $5.90 for ATR. So our ATR low is this green line. See where our price responded? Right, this is as low as we were really expecting the price to go today. A complete day trading system. Carlos actually just put, or sorry, not Carlos. I think Mike's actually running the ship today. There's actually a link that just got posted. Team Variable Traders just posted it. That's my book right there. So, but you can see here we had multiple offerings of the level, and this is the one I took here. Look how we re-offered. We get the call. Oh, hold on. I got two different sets of cams running. Hold on. Why is it showing both of those call sets? Weird. I'm testing. Oh, it's because there's two calcs going on here. Okay, never mind. I've got dev cams on right now. So you can see here, this is the short entry location, target location. But then it stopped and it re-signaled. And look at that beautiful breakdown. Oh my gosh. Just a perfect play, right? So I see. If you enjoy, oh, thanks, Max. If you like swing trading and you're looking to go to intraday, or like more of like if you're looking to day trade, I'd highly recommend my system. Right. And the reason why is because my system is more of a traditional day trading system. Right. So I'm gonna, I go for, I don't partial. I do, as you can see, like here on my NQ trades, I'll do one in and one out, one in, one out, going for full range targets, right? I almost swung for the fences on this one and went for ATR low. That would have been a good one. That would have been like a $6,000 trade. But since I had already taken a couple of tries, I figured I'd just be happy with $3,000. Remember anyone who used to trade with me like only like a few years ago, will know that I used to go like, a week to 2 weeks at a time hoping to make $3,000. And now I can do it, in 15 minutes or something like that. It's pretty spectacular, half hour. You know what I mean? So, and this is a mirrored trade, right? It's a copied trade, right? So, this trade was hit on 5 accounts at the same time, but we won't discuss that for the purposes of YouTube. So yeah, whatever. Let's go. Right. So, anyway, the whole calls were in here. So I just go for real targets. So if you're really looking to like have like a trading system that's a little bit more like swing trading and a little less, a little less like, not quite so momentum, I guess I would say, right? You might enjoy it a lot more. Like imagine all you had to do for the record is short the open, right? As soon as we re-offered and shorted, that's it. You're done. Like, tomorrow we're going to talk about it on the Wednesday session. I have 2 things I need help with tomorrow. One, I want to come up with a real cool name for the Wednesday sessions. Because I think I'm going to start actually capturing the audio on the Wednesday session and reposting those as a podcast. So go to my Instagram, Ali, and there's a link in my profile on my Instagram to my mentoring site, at Thor Young. Yeah, so we're gonna pull it tomorrow, Syed. So just kind of keep it in your thought. But I want it to be more of a show, not just Wednesdays, right? It is on Wednesdays, but I don't want it to be like a something Wednesday. I want it to be like if I posted the audio into YouTube, because I think the shows that we do are audio worthy. Like we don't do a whole lot of trade stuff on those Wednesdays, and I think I'm going to repost them as a podcast. So, but it needs to have a name. So, ATR indicator, yep. It's the basic calc method, and add the pre-market. ATR length is 14. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Number 2, I'm going to do a drawing for, speaking of wanting to be my mentee, Ali, someday, either probably Thursday or Friday, one or the two, I'm going to do a drawing. Anyone who's a members of Lambos and garbage trucks gets an advantage, a multiplier, and I'm going to do a drawing for 1 hour of time with me. So we can use it for mentoring. We can use it just to chat about trading journey, whatever you want. Yeah, you have to. If you don't add pre-market, it's not ATR. If you don't add pre-market, it's ADR. That Zach, that's the difference between average trading range and average daily range. And you want average trading range, right? So average, you want to know how far it's going to go, and you need to calculate that off of the pre-market. That is the industry standard for doing that, right? So I don't want it to have my name in it, Julio. Like, you know, it's not like it's going to be Dr. V's and my Wednesday segment rebroadcasted, right, into like a podcast. So I don't necessarily want to, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be necessarily a name. Like, you know, I like the idea of, like, you know, like mind over, you know, like how there's mind over markets or something like that. You know, I think it would be really cool. And then I want to use that. Hey, nice. Hey, Andrew. Hey, boss. I want to use that to drive like traffic back into the channel, you know, come by to the YouTube so you can be here for it. So we're going to try and like really kind of figure out a way, because I'm trying to really get ways to drive traffic into this segment. You know what I mean? I really want us to do that. And then, but yeah, so I'm going to give away an hour of my time, right? So that you guys can, you know, come work with me, hang out, talk, do all of that stuff. It's going to be awesome. The daily candle. That's hilarious. I really like that a lot. How can we join Lambos and garbage trucks? I don't know. Because I don't know. There's got to be a way. I think
right at the bottom of the
illuminate
screen,
me.
you just click join right beside the Bearable Traders logo, right beneath this video. The voice from the sky. And it'll pop up and tell you, Lambos and garbage trucks, join this channel. There you go. This is the Lord, Thor. I command thee to continue trading.
Thou must commence. The pivot zone. Welcome to the pivot zone. Yeah, daily. It would have to be like the weekly candle, right, Elisa? The pivot zone's kind of dope, actually. That's funny. All right. So apparently, so if you go to the page, there's a button that says join. All right. So I'm going to show you now. Woink. Here's the thing.
In a world where traders and podcasts... Oh, down it. I lost the word. Hold on. In a world where traders and podcasts collide, there is Thor and Dr. V. Only there will the answers be revealed. Join the Trading Podcast, soon to be named Patent Pending.
In a world completely surrounded by water. Oh my gosh. Dude, yeah. Sirkin, because you are a gangster. Thank you, man. So yeah, so you go here and there's this little thing. See, if you should all already have done this, because this is free. Right? Free. Right? Free. And you can get a shot to have an hour with me. Or you do this guy right here. Only 478 likes, though. I don't know what's going on. Am I not being humorous enough right now? Like, did me like staring up into Peter as if he was like the Lord? Like, are you not entertained? Like, I mean, I showed you a 3K trade. Man, I don't like, what am I supposed to do to make these people happy, Peter?
Like the Lord, I am your Lord.
I am.
Do not make me smite thee.
Oh, I love it. Oh, we got 505. 515. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Guilt trip reverted. Bringing it back. Bringing the guilt back. I mean, you know, I think we're okay. Okay. I love y'all. All right. So what else? What can I do for y'all? What do y'all have? My ADHD, my dopamine has been properly dopamined. What else can I do to convince y'all that it's time to join garbage trucks and Lambos for the grand expense? How much is it? Is it like $1, $2, $5? What do you have to pay a month to be in this thing?
$4.99.
$4.99. It's $4.99. So for one, depending on where you live, a shot of coffee could do it. It's not even like a whole cup, right? I mean, you could get a cup of coffee in Canada. I like me some Canada right now. If you're in the US and you want a vacation somewhere, Canada. Just saying. Go see what it feels like to be a king. Just enjoy your life. Amazing people, incredibly good exchange rate. All right, back to it. I think it's per month, Jarl. I think it's per month. Max, thank you for the sign up, dude. You are the man. Yeah, so Serkan, I'm on a development version of the cams right now. So there may be some difference between what I have and what you have as far as like just some alerts and maybe even some calcs, because we're releasing a new version in the next few days that has a lot of additional logic. So, and also it has modes in it. So like, for instance, you can see here, it like right now it's kind of like, it's actually calling 2 plays here at the same time. Right? Because this is actually because we have a narrow neutral range. So one of the things I have to ask him to do is like we got to add a default logic that if we call, you know, that if there's 2 plays at the same time, like maybe we just pick one. I don't know. So, but like that's new. I've never had that. But technically, both plays were good. So, whatever. You know, it worked. But you can actually see here 2 different target zones depending on which play you're picking, the higher range D or the lower range C play. But they're both good plays because it's neutral, but it just shows you how well my system works in any given range, right? It's pretty amazing. Do I expect, we could go back to VWAP. It could certainly happen. We have monthly R3 here, so I could definitely see us pulling back up to monthly R3. Let's look at the book and see if there's anything that suggests that. Because right now our order book is a little bullish near the price, right? So it does look like we're buying a bit right now. So could we reoffer the monthly level and come up to VWAP and then sell back down to ATR low? Absolutely. All right, so the garbage truck and Lambo's truck thing. I could explain the name. I would prefer you have Carlos explain it because when he says it, it just sounds better. But basically it's kind of like you subscribe to the channel and then you can kind of join, like it's kind of like a little more elite version of it and it gives you some perks, right? So there's certain videos that Andrew's going to release that will only be available to those people, like certain recaps. There's going to be certain things that are like whenever we do our drawings, anyone who's in garbage trucks and Lambos gets a multiplier like 4 times. So if we do like a, book drawing or like a free membership, or I think Andrew's going to do a drawing for like Thailand for like anyone who wants to go to Thailand. I think he's going to like sponsor one person's like resort fees or something while in Thailand for the BBT Thailand thing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's some real perks. And other than that, it's just prestige. I mean, what is it like just to be cooler than everybody else? PLTR VPA wise looks like it's right about to sell. I haven't loaded the book yet, but PLTR looks like it's a short. Let me get the book up though. All right. So a little bit difference on the book. This is why the book helps. See if it can sweep 164. And then, so you can see here, look, see how we found all these sellers right here? This is what I would want to watch for on PLTR. You can see here we sold through and then reoffered, right? So let's talk about the concept of the offer versus the reoffer, right? A lot of folks have understanding. Anytime you hit a level for the first time, that's an offer. It's really simple, but we confuse this all the time, right? So we bounced there. So we held that offer, right? So that's called a held offer. So we would call this the held bid, right? So if I told somebody I wanted to long the held bid, that's the bid in which I'm speaking of. Right. So now so where is the reoffer of that bid? It's there. Right. So when it reoffered the bid, what happened? We sold the reoffer. Right. That's a very weak sign. If we had have reoffered the bid, held and bought that held bid twice, well, that's what you're looking for a bottom. Right. Yeah, it's all black and white for the book version, Humberto. And if you go to bearbulltraders.com/pivot book, you can download the color diagrams, the diagrams in color. So we sold through and we hit the bid here. This creates a new swing low, right? We then pull back up and look where we broke down right here. Look what happens when we reoffer it. We can't even buy it. Just wicks, so we sell. And then look what happens when we reoffer the bid. We sell through it. Then we reoffer it from the other side. Sell away, right? So this right here is selling, right? Anytime you move down, it's fast. Anytime you move up, it's slow. Chutes and ladders, right? Snakes and ladders of your country. Anytime it moves down fast, anytime it tries to move up really, really slow. Selling. Right? So if you're looking to play this now that we've seen that, now what's going on here? Is this buying or is this reoffering? In my humble opinion, we're reoffering. So what does that mean? It's going very slowly, right? It's taking a really long time to get back. Who are we going to reoffer? We're going to reoffer right here. Right? Where is that at? Right here. So what's the main algorithm that we're going to try and entice? VWAP. Right? VWAP's a big algorithm. Now, we did manage to reoffer and sell from right here. So we could sell here. But this is the stronger spot. Let's see which one they choose. Right? Now, how are we going to know which one to pick? Look here. Look where our seller came in at. Look where our seller front ran. Right? 164. 164. So there's our order. Right? So let's mark 164. Oh, magnet's got to go. Right? There's our order. Right? So we distributed through the order bought over it, distributed back through it, and came through. Now we're coming all the way back up to that order, right? And let's see what happens when they buy over. Let's see if this order re-engages. If this algo is going to sell here, you should see a sell hit right off of that spot. If it doesn't, it's not a short, right? Right? Watch how they come in here and they do this. If they buy up and close it, wait for it to sweep up into VWAP where we found all these wicks, right? Like I said in the first place, this is where our really good spot is, right up here near 165. We couldn't buy that order before. So there's a good chance we won't be able to buy it again, and we'll have the added value of the VWAP algorithm being there. So we want to see if we front run VWAP. Look at 165. Look at the size of the order at 165. And look, we've got bid to the downside. So if we go up here and we can clear this order and then sell off of it, look how bullish our book is right now as we're going there. Right? So if I was going to short PLTR, for instance, I would look for it to come right up to 165 and see if we could hit a short on it right there. And that's going to be VWAP and floor 3. And you'd play it back towards 161, which is floor 4. So, but if you're going to sell, let's watch this, because I think this will be kind of a fun. Is everyone cool with kind of reading the VPA here and kind of, thumbs up? Give me you guys want to do a little VPA read and watch to see if this algorithm responds, and we can watch it happen together. I'll have to hang on this ticker for a minute, but we can watch it happen. The idea will be a short of 165 towards 160. See how we have this tight tiered book? We sold from here before. This is where we should sell again. Right? So we're going to watch this. And we're going to see if we're going to see, but we're going to wait for it. Right? We need to see it offer. Right? So right now we're offering, right? We're just going up, we're buying, no selling. So if you were going to short here, right now, this is still pretty strong. Right? You want to see the algo hit, right? You'll see it when it happens. It's not as subtle as you'd think. You'll see a shift in the market structure. Look how these orders are starting to creep into the downside. All right, look how we went. See the volume? Kind of a medium candle on small on elevated volume, right? But that wasn't really a big sell, right? We're still bullish and it was still absorbed. So that's not it. Right? I want to see this thing hit. Like, you'll feel it. It's visceral. Right? You'll see the algo hit. Like right now, really bullish, still buying. Right? So it's not yet. Right? Look at the Qs right now. The Qs in Q is buying into a large block to the top side right now also. And algorithms hit all over the place, right? Look at the tiering here. So right now, does this look bullish or bearish, YouTube? How do y'all feel? I agree. Bullish, right? We have really nice ladder structure to 165. And we have almost no orders under the price back to 163. Right? So far right now, PLTR looks like it wants to go for VWAP. So look, so you can see we bought strong. We tried to sell and it was supported at 164. So this looks like it wants to go up at least right. Oh, look, there's 164.60. There's our order. All right, so that's our VWAP algo. right? VWAP's right here, 164.60. So we found our VWAP algo. See it? So now now we're gonna watch, right? Volume too low, right? Still not a sell. Might not be a sell, right? Right now we see the VWAP algo coming in right there. See it? So with no structure to the downside, it's the most likely probable outcome here is we're going to go buy VWAP. We're going to go buy this order right here. Now that's the response you're going to watch for, right? But right now, if you're in a long, you should be holding right now. There's no reason to get out of this. I'll tell you if there's a reason to get out. Right now, there's not one. All right, now we bought and closed high. So now we're going to offer that premium at the open of the new candle. Let's see how the market responds to premium there. Do they buy premium or do we sell down through the bid? This is very important. Anytime you close high or close low, the response to that is very important. So we closed low and then came high, right? If we close high, look how we come back low. This is how you know this is indecision. This is why you wait for breaks, right? You wait for it to close high and then you wait for them to buy that high, right? Because there's an inherent amount of strength there when that happens. So now we closed high, we offered premium and we sold, right? So if this broke this low right here, I'd probably be willing to short this and throw my stop above that VWAP algo. Right there, right above 164.60. Or you could run it above 165. If you want to run it a little safer. All right, so there's our new low and there's our bid. How this candle closes is very important. Okay? Very important close candle, right? If we buy up and close at value, then we could still go offer VWAP. But if we close low and then sell the low, this is probably it, right? We're going to drop. There we go. See? See how that works? Now we did wick and close, so let's watch the response here. If we sell this low, we're going to lose this bid off of this buy candle right here. That's who just held, right? We offered that bid and someone bought and closed at value. But if we move through that bid, then we're going to probably flush down to this bid. If we flush that bid, right, then we really start to lose. So did you see how we were able to watch and isolate when the VWAP algorithm came in, actually showing us? So now let's see if so we close there. Now look, we're going to buy it. Let's see what they do here. It's so fun, right? When you start to like read this stuff. Now, does that mean you always know which direction it's going to go? No, of course not. This is why we use range, right? So once you use these tactics and you're buying lows and using your stop below lows, right? Or in this instance, if you're going in short here and putting your stop above here, or like 165, right? Or VWAP, right? You'll start to really see how these things work. Like you could go short here. If they buy VWAP, then you're probably wrong, right? Because they shouldn't buy VWAP unless they're going to run 165, right? If you wanted to be a little safer, you could put it behind 165. They would have to run VWAP and 165 to hit your stop. And then you could target low of day. All right. What do you think about the volume on that engulfing right there? How do you feel about the volume on that engulfing when we went back for VWAP? What do you think? I think it was kind of low. I think for that closing that high with that kind of a move, I think this should have been I think this candle should have been this big. Right? Look, it's the same size candle and it came right out of the same spot. See? See that? See how an engulfing candle, if the volume isn't right, tells you a different story? This is why VPA, and these are my ghost candles, right? Yep, they're on TV. Go to my Instagram and you can get them. Right now, we have them on. Right now, they're private because we are having trouble keeping them public. So we moved it to private. So you got to go to my Instagram at ThorYoungBBT, and you can get them right off of there. I don't know. So they absorbed that sell, but it did close as a sell. So if that had closed green, maybe more so. I think this still feels pretty bearish. We closed low on that bid, and now we're offering lower. So if we get much lower than this thing's going to rock and roll. We'll be at low a day in maybe 10 or 15 minutes if this thing starts moving down. If it moves back up, we'll probably chop for another half hour. It's going to take a lot of volume to buy 165. And we're getting selling. That is actually going to the DOM. One of the things I'm looking at for directionality is I'm actually looking to see if the market order sells move the price. That means that they're going to the DOM. The algorithm is actually allowing the orders to hit the book. It's not absorbing them, right? So this looks like genuine selling on the algorithm right now. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like we're doing it. You got it short? Okay, Tay. I like it. I mean, I like it too, because even if it doesn't work, you've got some really obvious spots where you want to get out of it. So, but your moving averages have curled also if you're into momentum. I mean, we've crossed and lost the averages. So it'd have to be a real rude ticker at this point. We've also lost, for any of our trend traders, we've also lost our, we've officially lost our, our trend. So you only need 2 points. So to really do a good one. So, and there's actually two in here. There's here, and this one. So you can see here, once we lost this one, we got sandwiched, and now we're losing and reoffering this one. But at this point, you shouldn't go back above here. So if this does squeeze, you could look for a potential short if it comes in and holds the underneath here. If we keep selling, we've already run out the ATR low on PLTR. So I think low of day is a reasonable target. I wouldn't target much lower than that if you were going to try and go, but we do have the monthly CP down here, which is doable. But we're already well outside of our ATR today. So I mean, PLTR was so high. Look how far this thing's come down today. It's pretty amazing. All right, let's see if they pick up a buyer here. All right, look what happened. Look, right when they pull the order. Look what happens at exactly the same time. algos. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to calculate ATR, what you're going to do is this. So you have your ATR is your wow. You take your low and your high, the distance between your low and your high, and you average that over 14. Wow. It's harder to write with these things than you think. Over 14 days. Right? And so now to get the ATR, you're going to use, so for instance, you're going to start actually at midnight. Right? Well, actually, I guess in this instance, we'll start it. Right? And you're going to go all the way, right, till, oh my God, I suck at. Right? Your open session is 9:30 to 4. Right? So if let's say you open here, and then over the course of the day, right, the market opens, boom, you come up to here, and you sell down to here, and you go up, and then you close, and then go like that, and then close, right? Your ATR is going to be that high to that low, right? So it's your entire trading high of your entire session, pre-market and post, from the high to the low. Some people utilize just the open session high and low, and that is not ATR. They will use that and call it ATR, and they are liars. That is not ATR. That is ADR, average daily range. So that's a big difference between the two, and this one's stupid. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it works sometimes. All right. So they've kind of, remember where we got this big buy volume right here? Look where we found that buy volume at. Right here. Look at the volume. Right here, right here. Right there, right there. There's this buy volume here. Right there. So we had a lot of buying in this range. Right? Buying, 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 buying. Absorb selling. So notice what happened when we dipped back into here and we got to the bottom of it. We bought it again, right? But no surprising, right? This is a buying range, right? So last time we were here, we sold the range. So if you're going to buy and you're going to sell, you want to buy from here and you want to sell from like up here. So, and these are just the basic principles the whole market's based on. So if you're looking to figure out how to buy low and sell high, it's basically how you do it. What else? Why the market makers show their orders? Sammy, they have to. You're not allowed to hide your orders, right? So the stock market, other than the options side, is no longer what they call open outcry, right? So the market used to be open outcry, right? Like, so a market maker could look at another market maker or a trader or a specialist, and you could literally go up to them and be like, right? And then the person would be like, okay, you know, and then they would come back to you and they'd go, right? And then what happened is you just told them you want to buy Tesla and you want to buy it like this, and you want to do that, and you just did that from across the room or somebody outside the street. Open outcry means you can place an order with your voice or with your hands, right? So the market used to be open outcry. Ever watch the movie Trading Places? The movie Trading Places, right? I want to buy one, right? They yell that out, sold, right? That's open outcry. You can't do that on the NYSE. If you go to the NYSE now, it's not open outcry. All orders must go through the DOM, right? They have to go to the DOM. So Dave, when Pyrus is talking about a hidden seller, what he's talking about is an iceberg. So what happens, okay? This is going to get a little deep, Dave. Are you with me? Because I feel like it's really important to understand what's going on here to really, truly get this, right? We're talking about institutional trading, right? Institutional traders are who's really moving the price around, right? These institutional traders work for big, big companies. So let's say, NYPD, New York Police Department. New York Police Department has one of the largest pension funds on the planet, right? And their pension fund is managed by a team of portfolio and pension managers, right? The portfolio manager, I'm going to give you the whole thing here as best as I can in the next 10 minutes, right? The portfolio manager, right, is going to call and say, and they want, and decides that they want to go ahead and move out $500 million. No, let's just hit a cool, yeah, let's say $500 million of Apple. Because they bought Apple like 3 years ago. They've been holding it. It's time for them to balance. They want to rotate. They want to get rid of $500 million or 500 million shares. Sorry, not dollars, shares of Apple. Right? And you're like, oh my God. Right? So what would happen if they took 500 million shares and took that to market right now? What would happen to Apple's price? Right? Apple's price goes into the toilet, right? Because the entire market will see a massive iceberg order, right? Hit on market, massive orders, right? So what happens is instead, NYPD talks to what's called a fund, right? And they do asset management and security management. So NYPD is going to go to this company and they're going to say, hey, we're going to go to you and we're going to give you 100 million shares to get rid of. They're going to go to another company. They're going to give them 100 million shares. They're going to go to another company and they're going to allocate them 100 million shares. They're going to go to another company and allocate them 100 million shares. And they're going to go to this company and allocate them 100 million shares, right? For a total of 500 million. And they're going to move these. And anybody know, what is this movement called? No, I hit my full target. What's this movement called? I'm going to see if everyone's with me here. See if I get any institutional traders with me in here. It's called a dark pool. Right? So now we're reallocating shares to other people who are going to trade them, right? But we're not actually trading, changing hands, right? We're not actually selling these to somebody or giving them. We're going to allow them to work the order on our behalf. And this is called a dark pool movement. And that exactly, Pepper, this is how we move these orders into the different locations so that they can be moved by the institutional traders. We move them by dark pool, right? So these are orders that are going to be reallocating, right? But they're not going to be taken to the open market, right? So now that we have this, we're going to have our stock chart here, right? So what happens is we now know, because when they talk to all these people, they tell them, hey, the price right now is at $100, right? We want to sell, and we want to sell all of our shares, but we want to sell them for no less, right, than $98. So but the price is already at 100, right? So now what's going to happen is all of these institutional traders are now loading up in the dark pool, and they've got all of these shares that they now have possession of, and they actually have a relatively small area in which to sell them. So what happens at the very beginning, because they've got all this extra capital, is these guys are going to try and make some money, right? So the first thing they're going to do right at the open is they're going to start buying, and they're going to start buying any sell orders that are to the top side. Why? Because they're already carrying a 2 to 3, let's say we're at 110 or something. We're already carrying a massive average here, right? So as soon as the price rolls over, all of them start dumping. Now, why does the price roll over? It's because of them, right? They're going to put their sell orders on for where they want to try and sell, because they have to return it to NYPD, but only at like $100 or $98, right? They've already pre-negotiated the amount that NYPD wants to make on this position. It's just their jobs to make sure that it sells for more than that. So as long as it sells for more than that, they're going to make money. So they're going to go ahead and tier their institutional orders to the top side, because this is where they want to go, right? But believe me, they've got a bottom line. And this is what we call max pain. So if anyone has listened to Jared talking about options and other things like that, he starts talking about max pain. That's this area where if we get into there, anyone who's long right now, who's institutionally long, is going to have to sell to make sure they make profit before they get here. Because guess what? If it goes below there, they lose money, and all of it. They die, right? They lose their companies, right? So this is what happens as we get near this topside order. Now, someone says a hidden order. Now that we know all of that, right? Going back to that hidden order, right? What happens is as we're getting near this target, let's say there's 5 guys here, and let's say they've all agreed more or less just through reading fundamentals that they really want to put most of their orders are going to be right here. Right? There is an order set here, right? But the most of them start grouping their orders here. So as the price goes up into this area and starts hitting this area, all of a sudden, this guy here decides to start front running that price. He starts selling ahead, but he doesn't tell anybody, right? They don't work together. This isn't an announcement. He kept his orders off the book. So he's going to start using what's called an iceberg order. And this is what Paris is talking about. Paris is recognizing the implementation of an iceberg. Every time we get to an ask, he sees selling hitting at the ask that isn't otherwise obvious or on the book, right? So he's seeing a hit, what he calls a hidden order. It's not that it's hidden, it's just not on the book. You can't see it. So yeah, it's hidden, but no one's hiding it. It's just not being put on, right? So, and this is one of the biggest things you're looking for reversals is capitulation at these icebergs. As we start to struggle to go through, this order to the top side will become impatient, and they will start to lighten, and they will start selling in front of this order also. That will cause this order to cave, and eventually you'll see a really big sell, boom, hit, and then we just start ripping to the downside. And that rip to the downside is being caused because all of these guys here all decide it's time, right? We've all gotten as high as we want. We've gotten as much money as we want. We're near the average daily range already, or the average trading range. Let's start selling. And then we waterfall all the way back to the bid, right? And that's what moves our stock most days, right? So now let's implement this here. Let's imagine on QQQ today, they were told to get rid of a whole bunch of Qs. Well, at the open, Qs immediately took a weak sell and then sold. So anyone who is holding long positions institutionally immediately starts liquidating. That forces the price further. We then reoffer fair value, right? Because that initial liquidation was very aggressive. But look at the reoffer. Look at the volume. See it? Right? You can see how our volume died as we pulled back up. We didn't sweep to find a buyer. We sold, and now we're sweeping to find a seller. So once you start learning these mechanics like this, you can really start to recognize today, for instance, being a very strong sell day. Because anytime we offered, the volume dropped. Anytime we sold, volume, volume, volume. Even now when we buy, the biggest volume on the book is on a stuffed candle, right? Cool. All right, everybody. We've got a few minutes here till we're going to wrap up our little session here. I really appreciate everybody for coming by and hanging out today. I want to remind everybody that on Thursday or Friday, I'm going to do a drawing for an hour of time with me. If you want to learn more about how to read the markets, if you want to hang out with your market alchemist here, right? We come hang out with me and I'll teach you how to read it, right? So make sure you're around for that. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Brains Day, thinking about all things psychology. Dr. V back in the hot seat as always. I want to come up with a name for that segment. So please come by and help me out because I want to republish that one. So it needs a name though. It needs a theme. It needs a thing, right? I think they're really cool. So make sure you can you come by for that. If you have any questions, otherwise come by the Bear Bull Traders community and hang out with me. On top of that, Peak Capital signing up now. Big news in Peak Capital. Next boot, I'm doing 3 live trading sessions a week. So if you want to hang out with me Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays through the opens, so you can get my perspective on what I'm looking for leading into the day, it's the only place you can do it unless you're in my private mentoring group. If you have interest in any of my indicators, private mentoring, or any of that other stuff, my book, all of that is linked on my Instagram at Thor Young, Bear Bull Traders. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great rest of your trading day. Much love from me and the BBT community to all of you. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And as always, everybody, keep it green. So have a great one, and I'll see you then. Talk to you soon.